Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of The Boys in the Back on our rightful Thursday slot. You miss us? The fried pickles, as someone called us earlier this week.
No, we've been upgraded.
To entrees now. The fried pickles in the back are back. I am 1/3 of the Boys in the Back, Connor Burks. Joined alongside me, as always, the man, the myth, the Jakeman, Mr. New York Rick.
Hello.
How we doing, brother?
People. I'm good. You?
Back in the big seats after a few days off.
Yeah, it's it feels now different, the same way it did feel different to do that many shows in a row. But we'll get back into the once a week groove.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's good to be back at this ergonomic chair. It's good on my back. They just got me on a bar stool in the back there. No back support. Made of aluminum. It doesn't feel good sitting there for just hours and hours on end. Now I got the cozy ergonomic chair for a couple hours, and then we're out. We're off to happy hour.
Maybe we move that to the back for you.
Herman Miller, sponsor. Herman Miller raised stool sponsor. The back problems. They're never wavering with those.
Is this a foreshadowing of something that might come up later when we do pound for pound?
Speaking of our pound for pound today, in honor of Max Holloway, the daddest man on the planet, the daddest things, pound for pound daddest things. I'm not going to lie. The only reason I showed up to work today is just so we can get to that pound for pound. This is the most excited I've been for a pound for pound in quite some time. We'll also do a UFC 326 deep dive. We'll do bets. We'll do parlay pals. Did we hit last week? Of course we didn't, because PC was helping us pick the fights, which means we definitely lost. Your super chats, your voicemails, all of the above. But first, let's start with a couple of news and notes in the world of combat sports, as we like to do. And first and foremost, the heavyweight champion of the world made a post on Instagram last night, appearing to get on some sort of private jet there in a nice sky blue jacket. But most importantly, the caption here, back to business from one Tom Aspinall official.
What do you make of this?
I don't know. I truly do not know. What is the jacket? Is the jacket a brand? Is this like a, like one of the like, we're back to
champion?
business?
That looks like a C. Is it champion?
It could be champion. Obviously, he's got the apparel deal with them. Does this mean that the surgery went well, that we're back on the road to recovery, that it feels like, is...
I'll say it this way. The word back, to me, signals okay, we're returning, right? Tom can't be naive enough to think that if he says something like this, that it will just be taken as oh no, he meant going back to a business, he knows what he's doing and saying here, so I'm hoping that he is rewarding our faith.
Okay, so what you're saying is this isn't a back to business, he literally is taking a flight to go to business meetings and meet with brands.
I hope not.
I am with you. I was going to say, with how much flack that he's gotten, with how much in the news he has been, such a hot button issue around Tom Aspinall, I can't imagine he would post this without having intentions.
He has to know what this would do if it wasn't that, right? He knows what it will do if that's the interpretation that people have of it. And so I'm excited. The idea of potentially getting Tom Aspinall back, or the idea of us knowing when we get Tom Aspinall back, is extremely exciting to me. He is the man that I care most about seeing at this moment in MMA.
Just the idea of him confirming that he's coming back to fighting would be enough to get me excited.
You're right.
This up in the air of will he, won't he come back, period.
Wow.
But if we were on a road to recovery of I'm coming back to fight, I've gotten clearance from doctors, I need X number of weeks to get ready, and then I can start getting into training camps and stuff like that, would excite me more than you know.
Yeah, and let's hope that we get a follow-up to this, but promising. Something, a glimmer of hope now when it comes to the heavyweight division, Tom Aspinall resuming his reign as champion. I'm excited.
It's much better than what he has been posting. If I'm not mistaken, just a couple posts ago from this, back in business post, was him getting eye surgery. Yeah. 3 posts prior was him with his eyes literally held open. What did Pizza keep comparing it to? Clockwork Orange?
Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been February 10th. It's been about It's been about 3.5 weeks since then. So hopefully this is positive news for the heavyweight champion. Also, like, you parlay that with Gable gets a big win last week. Alex Pereira has now vacated his title at light heavyweight, which signifies moving up to 265. Is there hope in the future for the heavyweight division?
If Tom Aspinall comes back, if Alex Pereira enters the fray, if
Jones being back,
Jones comes back, if Gable Stevenson somehow works his way into the equation, yeah, there's hope.
There's hope.
If even 2 of those things happen, I'm excited.
God.
Yeah, honestly, if even 1, and that 1 is we get Tom Aspinall back, I'm good. That's all I need. That's all I fucking need is Tom Aspinall to be back and fighting.
Well, at this point, I think we're guaranteed to get Alex Pereira at heavyweight.
Yeah, we don't necessarily know what the matchup is, right? There's been a lot of talk about Alex versus Cyril for an interim. There's been a lot of speculation on that front. There seems to be traction in John Jones saying he was offered a fight against Alex Pereira. Alex has been pretty mum on the situation. That is exciting. We had Charles Oliveira earlier this week saying that the fight for Alex is much bigger than a fight with Cyril Gane. So that makes me think that the John Jones is the one that...
that feels like John Jones.
Like
John Jones.
That is lined up.
We will see. We'll stand by and wait as the heavyweight division continues to unfold across
Save us, Tom.
2026.
Save us. Save us, Tom.
Save us, John. Save us.
Alex. John.
Save us, Gable. Save us, Waldo.
Now we're talking. Huh?
Save us, Buchecha.
That's better.
Let's go from one champ to a former champion in Israel Adesanya. Obviously, a lot of fighters have been reacting to the news of Conor Ben signing a one-fight deal with Zuffa Boxing for $15 million. We found out that fight is going to be against Regis Prograis. Fighters have continued to come out and make comments about the dollar amount tied to a guy that they're not really familiar with. Israel Adesanya weighing in. Here's what he had to say on his YouTube channel.
You've proved it to them. So now, again, Zuffa is the next challenge. Zuffa Boxing is the next challenge that he set his eyes on. But with that being said, don't forget he started in boxing, of course, but what brought you to the game? This is what got him to be the name Dana White, the UFC president, is this. So I can see why the other fighters, I'm trying to think, how do I feel? Wait, do I feel jaded by it? But I understand, we know these guys are top class boxers. They're the best in the world at what they do, but so are we. This is the UFC. And if one guy can command that kind of money for one fight, and that's from the same company, Zuffa, and this is what's been keeping the lights on, is the UFC. We love ultimate fighting, not limited fighting. I don't feel jaded, but I'm like, I want $15 million for one fight too.
All right, so there's Israel Adesanya sort of reacting and making a lot of good points. Like, go with the girl that brought you to the dance, which is the UFC, and now it feels like the attention is not really being paid to that, and it's being paid to Zuffa, and also the money is being paid to the Zuffa athletes.
Yeah, and it's one thing for the attention to go there, but to Israel's point, right, like, this is how we keep the lights on. Zuffa Boxing is still not a thing yet, right? Do we believe, especially on the heels of some of the moves that they've been making, that Zuffa Boxing will be a thing? Certainly. They have the backing of a very wealthy entity, and they have the resources, the executive power, the political capital. There's all kinds of reasons to believe in Zuffa Boxing's future. But Zuffa Boxing's future is its future. Zuffa Boxing's present is Apex fights and, co-main events on cards with Tyson Fury. It's not a thing yet, whereas in the MMA space, in the UFC side of the equation, they're headlining shows everywhere. They're making the most money they've ever made. They're generating huge profits. They're generating huge attention. They're on the precipice of a White House card in June. There's a lot going on the UFC side that's already been established, already been done, and that train, it doesn't have any. I don't have any feeling of that train slowing down. And so, as Israel Adesanya laid out, that's where some of the attention needs to be, at least, right? Like, we hear all these fighters. We've heard Aljamain Sterling was on the show yesterday, but he's talked out about it before. We heard Israel Adesanya. We heard Sean Strickland. We heard Sean O'Malley. We've heard so many different guys talk about this. Has the UFC talked about it? Has anybody come to any of the fighters, or has Dana White, in front of any of the media members, said, yes, we've heard the cries about the $15 million that are getting paid to Conor Ben, and this is what our plan of action is going to be? It doesn't seem like it, right? Like, Israel Adesanya has a main event coming up in Seattle at some point. that would be somebody you might want to get ahead of and talk to and let know, hey, that $15 million is for boxing. Here's what's really going on, and have some kind of justification or explanation. Sean O'Malley, who's one of your biggest stars, you probably could afford to like have a conversation with him. You probably should make the time to have a conversation with him about what's going on and here's why this is happening. We haven't heard that yet. Maybe that's happening behind the scenes. I can't say definitively, but seemingly no fighters have said, I talked to Dana, I talked to Hunter, all's good.
I do not think that it's happening behind the scenes, or these fighters would not be coming out and saying these
Yeah.
things. I think that is clear with that. And yeah, I mean, even if it was something that they would be unhappy with, even just like, hey man, these funds are from Sella and Turki Al-Sheikh. They're not for the UFC, so it's just kind of the cards that you've been dealt here.
Yeah, I wonder how well that would go over.
What else are they going to do, though?
Who, the MMA fighters?
Yeah.
I mean, they have options. None of them are good options, right? You can obviously make a stink and try to say, I'm going to hold out for more money. And then they just say, okay, we're going to shelf you and offer you fights that you're not going to want to take. And we'll get into this whole, back and forth where you want to fight, but we're not going to pay you the amount that you're asking for. And we're going to stand on the sidelines and wait for your contract to sunset, and that's not a great option for most people. And so the UFC has all the leverage, all the advantages. I don't expect much to come of it, but it is interesting to me that fighters continue to do it, and not just like the guy who's making 10-10,
Actually,
not just Contender Series.
It's none of those guys.
Yeah,
it's the champions. It's the former champions. It's guys with big names like MVP that are deep into their career.
MVP, of course.
Yeah, it's like these people are coming out who have notoriety, who have power within this sport. We'll see if anything ultimately happens to it. I do want to put a pin in this subject, and we'll go back to it because we do have some breaking news on the program here. We just talked about Tom Aspinall. Back to business. What could this potentially be? Within minutes ago, there has now been a post, a collaborative Instagram post from Eddie Hearn and Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall has signed with the Matchroom Talent Agency. To be clear, that is the Matchroom Talent Agency. This is not Matchroom Boxing. And he says, welcome to the team, UFC heavyweight champ at Tom Aspinall. Time to go get what's yours.
Bro.
What? This is getting spicy. Does this not feel like a direct shot across the bow at Dana White? Okay, you take Conor Ben.
What?
I know he's not going to be fighting for me, but I'll take Aspinall under my wing and start getting what's his.
Can I just say, this is the happiest I've ever seen Eddie in my life.
Look at those pearly whites shining, man.
Lord.
He's got the crow's feet around the eyes. He's got the crinkles. He's smiling heavy, man. The dimples are showing.
Okay, I have so many fucking thoughts. Holy shit.
All right.
I need a second here.
First and foremost.
By the way, we saw Eddie Hearn tease that there was a big announcement coming.
Okay. All right. Let's discuss that. Eddie Hearn goes on Instagram and posts on his story that there will be an announcement. He posted that today, that there will be an announcement at 2:30 London time tomorrow, Friday. Press conference tomorrow in London, 2:30 p.m. Major announcement pending. Now, obviously, this didn't make it to 2:30. Is that the same announcement, or is he going to have another announcement
tomorrow? If he's got something bigger than that, God fucking bless, because that one's pretty massive.
Okay, well, let's go through it. If it isn't this, and now, do we think? I guess you would have a press conference for Tom Aspinall signing with your agency, especially with everything
have a press conference
that's going on
with the UFC heavyweight champion signing with your agency.
Absolutely massive. Just some things that he potentially teased to. We know 2 days ago he posted the Katie Taylor walking out to a stadium show with the prayer emoji. There's that picture. I've seen a couple tweets from people in the boxing industry. Colm McGuigan from IFL TV. He says, okay, I've worked this out. Absolutely huge news coming from Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn. You have to give it to them. Pulled this one out of the bag.
Okay.
Hashtag Eddie Hearn, hashtag Dana White.
Hashtag Dana White means that this probably is it.
Okay, so that makes me think that this is likely it. Anthony Joshua had posted at Eddie Hearn, at Matchroom Boxing, a cryptic. AJ, did you bring the firepower?
Yeah, let me see that one. Do we have that one?
It's tucked on my waistline, you mush. AJ, I'll let you know when I have a clear sight of Conor Ben. So
that feels more like them like joking about Conor Ben and taking him out, but that is interesting.
So like first thing that comes to my mind is obviously this is essentially just the next shot in this war between Eddie Hearn and Dana White. He is signing this. Second thing that comes to mind is Tom Aspinall and his team have showed interest that they want to box one day. Ultimately, the goal is to get the boxing and get massive paydays. Unless I'm mistaken, this creates a direct pipeline to him being able to box if he wants to.
That's the third thing I thought about.
Okay,
First thing is, holy shit, Eddie Hearn. For a week, everybody's been asking on the nose in the super chats. The question on everybody's mind has been, Dana White did this to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. What are they going to do? And we were talking about it yesterday. Ariel was talking about it, and we were all just kind of like, look, you just got to get back to business. To steal a line from Tom Aspinall, you got to get back to business, put on great fights, just keep chugging along, but just don't take it lying down. But we didn't really think that there was like a shot that they could return fire with that was going to be like the equivalent of this signing by Zuffa of Conor Ben. This feels as close as you can get to a return volley. This feels as close as you can get to a direct return shot. The only bigger one would have been obviously if Tom Aspinall was a free agent and they signed Tom Aspinall, right? That is how you do 1-for-1. That's how you make a fair exchange trade. But because Tom Aspinall is locked up in the UFC, this feels about as good as you're going to get, because now Eddie Hearn managing the UFC heavyweight champion puts him in direct contact with Dana White, Hunter Campbell, and everybody else on that side. That is a power play. Yeah. Holy shit.
So if Eddie Hearn is heading this up, he is obviously, I'm sure, on the board, whatever he is for the Matchroom Talent Agency.
Yeah.
And he has to negotiate with the UFC.
Oh, he's going to be negotiating with the UFC.
Negotiating with the Hunter Campbells.
Conor Ben got $15 million, huh? Whoa, so Tom Aspinall must be worth...
Can we show the picture one more time? Andy made a great point. I'm looking at the picture on my computer right now. Eddie Hearn is fucking cheesing in this picture, man. It almost looks like
Tom Aspinall looks pretty good too.
It almost
looks
like
fucking illegal.
It almost looks like he's just laughing.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be? Okay, so I said that was my number one. My number one is like, okay, Eddie Hearn's in the game.
We just saw it in real time. I don't think you saw the Slack.
I did not see the Slack.
Credit to everyone involved in the back. Big Dan, Helwani throwing in the chat. Right as we were about to leave the topic, they had thrown it into the Slack. So I missed it right as we were going over to Izzy. But yeah, you did not see that. So that was like your real, actual, authentic reaction. To the news.
Here was my number two.
Okay.
Your number two was Tom Aspinall goes to boxing, right?
This just creates
there's a
landscape for him.
My number two was Tom Aspinall might not be playing nice in the sandbox at the UFC.
From what I've heard him speak about the UFC and the negotiations and the way they treat him and everything like that, I don't think he has intentions to play nice with them.
And that's a very interesting thing to me. Because now, we're talking about big fights between Alex Pereira and John Jones. And Tom Aspinall is like, oh, yeah? Let me show you what I can do. Which is very fascinating to me because let's say Tom Aspinall does this as a very intentional move to partner with somebody who, in Eddie Hearn, is in a very deep rivalry against Dana White right now and TKO and Zuffa Boxing, to say, I'm going to align myself with these guys. That to me says, if you're Tom Aspinall, hey, what are you going to do to me, right? If you give me the fights I want and the money I want, great, I'm your soldier, let's do it, and we're ready to go to battle. If you don't, maybe cut me loose. Maybe there's other options out there for me that I could find a way to make some big fights. So Tom Aspinall and Eddie Hearn versus UFC is becoming interesting.
Yeah, I mean, also, Dana White has not been kind to Tom Aspinall in
Very
press
unkind.
conferences. He has not been kind at all to Eddie Hearn in these interviews, calling him a pussy, saying like derogatory things about him. All of these things when it comes to this business. I cannot imagine seeing two people that it doesn't feel like he's very fond of teaming up is going to make him and the UFC happy.
Yeah. And that means that Tom Aspinall made a conscious decision to do that, which is the most fascinating part of this to me, other than the initial reaction of like, holy shit, Eddie Hearn did it. Eddie Hearn somehow did it.
Okay, so that also makes me wonder of like where Tom feels he is in his recovery process, like in his ability to fight again. And if he does end up one day going to boxing, you don't got to worry about eye pokes there.
Okay. The going to boxing thing is fascinating, right? Because of the idea that Tom Aspinall has suggested that before, has long trained with the Fury family, including Tyson himself and Peter, and been involved in that. And he is also UK based, right? It makes sense with Matchroom. It makes sense with all the people that he's already associated with. But what about MMA? What about again, I feel like this is almost like an ultimatum to the UFC. This almost feels like an ultimatum, right? As I said, by Tom Aspinall aligning with Eddie Hearn, he's saying basically like F you, right? It feels like an F you. It feels like an F you to the UFC and Dana White. Now, the UFC's response to that F you can be like, you're still our champion. You're still going to fight for us. Do what you're told. To which he says, yeah, I'll do that. I'll be your champion, but you have to pay me what I'm worth, right? Conor Benn's making $15 million. I expect to be paid that or better. But it also opens the door, in my opinion, to, hey, let's part ways. You don't like me. You don't like my representation, Eddie Hearn. I'm not too fond of you guys right now. Maybe I find myself in another place. And now Eddie represents him. Doesn't have to be for boxing. Eddie Hearn represents him and could be, hey, I heard there's a big show coming up on Netflix. I got one of the best heavyweight champions in the world. Maybe you could put him on there.
It's fascinating. We just got our instant reaction live on the air. Let's bring in Ariel Helwani, who just found out as well. Ariel, what's going on, brother?
Okay. Hello, guys. Yes, I am in the car.
Respect.
I'm trying to figure out how to. It's tough to do the 3-box Andy on this one. I don't know.
Other way.
Where I am.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. Hook me up with this. I just got out of boxing training. As you guys know, I'm working on. Yeah. So here are the wraps right here. Anyway, you're not here to hear about all of that. And I've been going back and forth with Eddie for the last 2 days. I wanted to have him on this week. The return. There's been a lot to talk about. Yesterday, I'm just giving you like my whole timeline here of my perspective. Yesterday, he hits me up in the middle of the show and says, when are your shows this week? And I was like, oh, this is the last one. Maybe we could talk Monday. Didn't hear anything back. I get out of boxing and I text him. I don't know what prompted me to text him. And I was like, hey, does Monday work for you? And he goes, yeah, I think that would be great. And I was like, cool. He's like, I'm going to have a lot to talk about. And I was like, oh, yeah, what? And he goes, oh, you haven't seen? And he sends me the Instagram post of him and Tom cheesing it up. And I was like, what? Holy shit, man. There it is. He sends me that. I was like, what? So then I text Tom and I was like, hey, Tom, how are you? He writes back, sorry, mate. You have to go through Eddie now. You can of piss. You can of piss. So then I go back to Eddie and I get the lowdown on all this.
Tell us.
I'm scrolling up.
Intel. You had to get the intel.
Eddie Hearn is now representing Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall has signed with Eddie Hearn to be his new advisor, as I just tweeted, and will handle his business dealings in and out of the octagon. So the advisory deals with this new Matchroom talent agency. They have one client at the moment, Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall flew to Monaco yesterday with his father, Andy, to meet with Eddie. And that's essentially when they struck this deal. So hours, not weeks ago. Eddie told me, when I started speaking to Tom, I found a guy, this is a quote from Eddie, that was removed of his mojo. I told him to get your head up. You are the UFC heavyweight champ and one of the biggest stars in combat sport. Let's go and get what's fucking yours. End quote. He flew to Monaco yesterday with his dad, Andy. Tomorrow, there's a press conference that they've teased that Tom Aspinall is going to be present at. I asked him if there are any other MMA fighters that are going to be added to this talent agency, which is essentially him representing him. Yeah. Eddie representing Tom in his business dealings.
It's not a promotional deal. It's a management deal. It's representation.
Yes. And Eddie said yes, but he didn't tell me of any other names. So very, very interesting. Not a move that I expected, not a move that I think any of us expected, but your clarification is very important. And that is, Tom Aspinall doesn't fight for Matchroom. Tom Aspinall is not going to show up on a Matchroom card to fight. Essentially, to boil it down, his new manager is Eddie Hearn. Eddie is his Ali Abdelaziz, his Malki Kawa, his Jason House, his Lloyd Pearson. That's who he is. So the thing about Tom, and I've known this for a while, is Tom has not had a manager. And trust me, every manager under the sun has tried to sign Tom. And Tom likes to keep his circle very small. And he has had his dad represent him. We've talked to his dad about some of these things. Pizzi has talked to his dad about some of these things. And I know he has thought, okay, maybe it'd be good to have this, but he's always felt comfortable with his dad. And some way, somehow, and hopefully we'll hear from Eddie tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get him on the show next week, Eddie convinced him that he would be the best guy and that he is well suited to negotiate. In the boxing world, Eddie's not a manager, people have to understand. He is a promoter. So boxing's obviously a little bit different than MMA. There are promoters who put on shows like Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, PBC, Oscar De La Hoya, and then everyone has a manager. You've been hearing about this Keith Connolly figure who is representing Conor Benn, who struck the deal with Zuffa. And so now in the world of MMA, Eddie is going to serve as Tom's manager. You don't have to have a license to do that in MMA. There's no barrier of entry. You don't have to pass an exam. You don't have to be certified or anything like that. Eddie has just sent me a press release. I've received this press release. So his team sent it to me. Eddie Hearn, I'm going to read it because I haven't read it, but you have the picture right there. Eddie Hearn signs UFC World Heavyweight Champion Tom Aspinall as first major client of Matchroom Sports' brand new Matchroom Talent Agency. UFC Heavyweight World Champion Aspinall joins forces with Matchroom's Eddie Hearn, new commercial-driven brand of talent management, which will guide leading stars across sport and entertainment through a multitude of key services, is officially open for business. Chairman Eddie Hearn said Matchroom Talent Agency is about transforming careers. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Sport is thrilled to announce today the launch of Matchroom Talent Agency with its first signing, UFC Heavyweight Champion Tom Aspinall. Matchroom Talent Agency is Matchroom Sports' new brand of talent management created by Chairman Eddie Hearn to manage and service leading sport and entertainment talent with care and loyalty, nurturing athletes' career by managing their brand and building reputations. The new subsidiary sits alongside Matchroom Sports' leading global entities in Matchroom Boxing, Professional Darts Corporation, World Snooker, and Matchroom Multi-Sport. I'm going to scroll down to see if there's a quote there. Here's Eddie Hearn saying, quote, "I started my professional career in athlete management, and over the past 30 years, I have built a wealth of experience in building global superstars. We believe in partnership and transparency with our clients, but most importantly, always delivering exceptional and innovative work grounded in honesty and fierce commitment. Matchroom Talent Agency is about transforming careers through relentless ambition and telling it straight. At the heart of everything we've done as a business over the past 40 years is identifying ordinary people who have extraordinary talent. It has become a guiding principle to seek out people who are humble but heroic in equal measure. Their journey is our journey, their triumph, our purpose. UFC World Heavyweight Champion Tom Aspinall is the perfect embodiment of that, and he is the ideal inaugural member of our team. We believe in creating opportunities where others see obstacles and turning potential into greatness. So the message is loud and clear to all. Join us on this journey. We are officially open for business." Here you are seeing scenes from their social media page. Tom and the boys, Frank Smith there. Here's Tom's quote. "I'm really excited to welcome Eddie and Matchroom Sport Group in a commercial and advisory role and to become the first athlete to join the new Matchroom Talent Agency. Eddie has built one of the biggest brands in sport and understands how to take athletes to the next level, both inside and outside the competition. I'm really looking forward to working together and exploring some exciting opportunities as I continue my journey back to the cage." Eddie Hearn will be joined by Tom Aspinall at an exclusive press conference taking place in central London, Friday, March 6th at 2 p.m. GMT. If my math is correct, that's 9 a.m. Eastern. Further details will be shared in due course. So there you have it. Now, we've heard all this now. We've read all this. My understanding is Andy is obviously still a part of the team. Andy Aspinall, coach, but also, of course, the man who has been, negotiating his deals and has guided. He has guided Tom throughout. Here's what's really interesting about all of this. As you guys know, the UFC is the sport for all intents and purposes. I have known many managers over the years that the UFC hasn't liked. And the UFC has said, we're not talking to this guy. So you either figure it out or get someone else. You put someone else in front of us, get another manager, or we're going through you. There are times where the UFC calls up fighters and says, we're not talking to your manager. So if you want this fight, you want this deal, you're going to have to talk to us. There's no system in place here. There is no set standard in place. Old school fans may remember the likes of Ken Pavia, who the UFC essentially said, like, we're not talking to you anymore. We don't like you. So basically what ended up happening is all his fighters ended up jumping ship. There'll be the flip side of that where the UFC will be like, we like this guy. And you know the ones that I'm talking about, go sign with him and we'll give you a deal, or we'll talk to them, or we'll negotiate with them. But we don't like this guy. So don't bring this guy to the meeting. I know of a meeting very recently where the UFC met with someone and they're like, manager, stay outside. It's just you and I. Just you and I. So like we could go gaga here and say like, wow, this is crazy. But I want to see how this actually plays out, because the UFC could just say, we're not talking to you. It's not like there will be now, Tom could then say, well, if you're not talking to him, you're not talking to me. There's going to be a game of chicken here. Tom's not a free agent. He's the champion. We know how long it is to get out of a contract. We also know about him wanting to box and starting in boxing. But we have to understand how the system works. In the NFL, if a general manager wants to sign a player, they have to deal with his representation. If they don't like that guy, tough luck. You have to talk to him. In MMA, in the UFC, it's different. They can do whatever they want. They can be like, all right, we'll just sit you, and then there'll be the whole process and they'll extend and all that stuff. But you have to understand how the dynamic is. So this is a fascinating turn of events. Someone was asking me yesterday, like you guys just alluded to it, what can Eddie do now? Well, now we know one step of what he wants to do. I think other names are going to be present tomorrow. I don't know if they'll be MMA related or not, but it's a really interesting move. And I think it's indicative of how Tom feels and has felt since that last fight, since the fight against Ariel. We know he wasn't happy with the comments. And there are some fighters who are so afraid of UFC backlash that they sign with the managers that they know are in good standing. Tom clearly doesn't care about that and is confident and comfortable being his own man and feels like this is the guy. And by the way, I mean, Eddie Hearn, if he truly is in the MMA management, talent management, fighter management business now, obviously he can't be a promoter in boxing and a manager. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that works. But he's already the most qualified MMA manager in the world after one announcement, just given what he's had to do over the past 25 or so years and who he's learned from his father. So those are the immediate thoughts. Fascinating. Very much looking forward to hearing what they will say tomorrow. And here we go. Like this is why I continue to say this is the most interesting story in combat sports right now. And it just got a lot more interesting.
And so I think you laid it out pretty plainly there, but I feel like this is a play by Tom Aspinall, right? You know that Eddie Hearn is on bad terms with Dana White. You know that Eddie Hearn is not somebody that they're friendly with at the moment. And you know that there's a potential that they're going to get upset about this. Do you agree that Tom has planted his flag, has drawn the line in the sand when it comes to his relationship with the UFC?
I think to a degree, he understands the circumstances, he understands the ramifications. But now I'm curious to see how the UFC responds, because the UFC could say like, cool, we're not talking to him and we're not talking to you, and figure it out. Like it's not like the NBA or the NFL. It's the Wild West. So obviously the biggest move would have been him signing with Matchroom to fight.
Yeah.
But, this is a guy who, has clearly felt some sort of way. Tom has clearly felt some sort of way about his treatment. And now you've got Eddie as a part of the team advising him on his comings and goings, on his career, his future. And if you're an MMA fighter and you're not happy with your representation, I don't know, is this the move? Like I said, he's now the guy. Like, look at when he sits in the studio and he's breaking things down. Like, he knows there. A lot of these managers, I'm sorry to say, don't know actually how this works. You know, they get a couple guys, what's the best deal? Okay, cool. Like, they don't see the books. They don't know how it works. They don't know how to put on an event. They don't know about the breakdown and whatnot. And so he does. And so he's he's overqualified, one might say, for this. And so, I'm curious to see if anyone else signs. I mean, is MVP going to sign with him too? I know he's with Paradigm. He's very happy, but I'm just saying, like, and when I say MVP, I mean Michael Bennett Page. But a fascinating thing. My head is kind of spinning because I didn't expect this move. You knew he would have something. You knew he would respond in some way. Didn't expect this.
Not only is he qualified, but the other managers, it behooves them to be in good standing with the UFC, right? The UFC is the biggest game in town, and for all intents and purposes, the only game in town, right? There is PFL. There are other options to potentially get your fighter paid, but it always behooves them to be in partnership with the UFC, right? It will get the best opportunities, and why we continue to hear about Ali Abdelaziz and him getting his fighters opportunities, and everybody kind of points to that. This is the opposite of that, right? This is now you potentially are aligned. Tom Aspinall is, and you're talking about other MMA fighters, might be potentially aligning with somebody at direct odds with the UFC. The downside of that, if we're going to like break it down and analyze it, the downside of that is the opportunities, the biggest opportunities are with the UFC. And so, as I said, it behooves the managers to be in good standing. On the plus side, in order to get your maximum value, you need somebody who is not going to play ball with the UFC. You need somebody who is potentially going to hold the UFC's feet to the fire and say, I don't know, Conor Benn, a boxer I know pretty well, got $15 million out of TKO. What's Tom Aspinall worth now? I'll tell you the price and let's see if we can agree. It's going to be extremely fascinating to me how the negotiations now play. And if anybody else joins this quorum and says, hey, we're going to be on the side of the manager in the game that is against the UFC, that is diametrically opposed to what Zuffa is doing on the boxing side and TKO as an entity.
I'll leave you with this last note, because then I'll let you guys continue on with the show. Great stuff. What is it about the UFC heavyweight division? Randy Couture back in the day, when he tried to get out and fight Fedor, remember that? He had the press conference. That was a massive, massive deal. I mean, Dana White was livid about how that all played out. Francis Ngannou very recently, and now Tom Aspinall. What is it about I don't think there is a champion of a weight class in UFC history that has tried to test the system more than the heavyweight champion. And so now this is a new chapter in this. Press conference tomorrow, 9 a.m. our time. Going to be fascinating. Wow.
Real quickly before we let you go, you mentioned that this deal happened within hours. They flew to Monaco, they got it done. This is the first client for this Matchroom talent agency. Do we think that Eddie Hearn created this just to be able to sign Tom Aspinall and take this as a shot back at the UFC?
That is an unbelievable question. It's not one that I asked him yet.
Save it for Monday to ask him.
Or someone ask him tomorrow. The question is, did you always want to do this? Or did you do this because you tried to figure out a way to get back at them? It's a fantastic question. Not one that I've asked in the last few minutes, but so I would just be making it up right now. If who am I to say? I've never asked him. I never knew that was a thing. Remember, he was on the show a few months ago and he was like, "Oh, MMA. I've been looking at it.
Yes.
I don't think it was in this. I don't think it was this. I don't think it was this. If I'm being 100% honest, but I am very curious. What came first, the chicken or the egg here? Essentially, right? Did he see an opening and started it, or was this something he had been thinking about for quite some time?
And then the golden goose fell in his lap while he was happened to be starting it.
Yes, fascinating stuff. Great stuff, guys. Appreciate it. Breaking news. Just wanted to share some insight. I'll shut up and listen now.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining, man.
Do we even do the rest of the show? Can we just do two more hours on this?
Okay, so that's why I was laughing so hard when Ariel was reading the press release, because it was just like, and the newly created Matchroom talent agency. With the powers, with the logistics, with the teams that he has behind him, also the financial backing that Eddie Hearn also has, I would imagine that it wouldn't be that difficult to create, an LLC or
Yeah.
whatever they need to do to create
Spin
this
up the business quickly.
and just make it happen fast
Yeah.
as a shot back. Because when did the Conor ban happen at this point? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an eternity for this guy.
No, yeah. Maybe that was, as soon as that happened, the plot was there. Man, all right.
I actually think when Eddie's asked about it, he's going to be sly.
He's going to not, he's going to be like, no, this has been in the works. Okay. I hate to belabor the point, but I have to continue to kind of just, every direction I go in, it circles back to this. I think we are in a position where Tom Aspinall knew what he was doing, obviously, right? Like, certainly
1000%.
knew that teaming with Eddie Hearn was a direct shot at the UFC. And there's now 2 options for the UFC. There's only 2 options that the UFC has. There's 2 options and then variations of those 2 options. Option 1, you play ball with Tom Aspinall. He's your heavyweight champion. Regardless of the fact that he's managed by Eddie Hearn, he's still one of the best fighters on your roster, and he's your heavyweight champion. You pay him what he's worth, and he fights for you. Option 1. Option 2, there's 3 options. Option 2,
Three options, and there's variations of each of those options.
That's correct.
There's actually 17 of them.
Option 2 is the one that Ariel laid out. We want to work with you, Tom, but we're not talking to Eddie Hearn. We are not dealing with Eddie Hearn. We talk to you. That creates a game where now Tom Aspinall goes, well, Eddie Hearn's my representation. Talk to him or don't talk to me at all. That's option 2. Option 3 is we don't want to work with you at all, and we don't want to work with Eddie Hearn. We can shelf, here's the variation version. We can shelf you. We can keep offering you fights, but you're not going to get the money that you want for these fights. And we've seen this before, right? This is a UFC tactic. This is not something brand new. We saw it with many, many fighters before where it's like, we're going to keep you on the roster just so that you can't get out of the deal. And then maybe the sunset clause hits. I imagine that Tom's contract has a sunset clause. At some point in a specific amount of time, it doesn't matter how many fights he's been offered, he can leave. It's a little different for champions, which makes this fascinating. That's variation 1 of the third option. Variation 2 is, okay, you got it. You don't want to be here anymore. We don't want you anymore. And they part ways. That's the other variation. The one I think is the most likely is they try option 2 first, which is, we want you to fight, but we don't want to talk to your manager. If they get nowhere with option 2, I think option 3 is the only one left. Do you see a world where they just start paying Tom Aspinall
exorbitant amounts
of money?
No way, dude. This is a company that plays hardball with its fighters. They are the kings in the castle. They get to dictate the laws of this land. I can't imagine that they're going to see this and be like, yeah, all good. Like, no worries. Yeah, we'll just go through Eddie and like we'll be able to create these deals. Like, they're going to no-sell this. Like, Dana is going to get asked about this on Saturday night for sure, without a doubt. If there is anyone out there with journalistic credibility, and I know that there are, he's going to get asked about it, and he's going to be like, cool, I don't give a fuck. Good for him. He signed an agent.
I agree with you. Do you agree with me that the first approach is, we still want Tom Aspinall. He's our UFC heavyweight champion. And we're going to talk to him, but not try to talk to Eddie Hearn.
Who is Eddie Hearn going to be talking to? Hunter Campbell?
Hunter Campbell, potential. I mean, he's definitely not talking to Dana White.
I'm not going to lie. I think Hunter Campbell would be willing to speak with.
And we saw it in the Francis saga, right? It was not Dana who was talking to Francis, and Dana has a big problem with Francis.
They were going to those dinners. It was Francis and
Hunter.
Eddie and Hunter. I think Hunter and Eddie can sit down at a table and have a civil conversation to try and figure it out. Now, are they going to
resolve anything?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to resolve anything.
Okay.
And is there a world where Tom Aspinall is sitting here and he's just like, yeah, worst thing that happens is they cut me from the UFC. We cut ties, then I go make a bunch of money in boxing.
Is that the worst thing or the best thing? That's
what I'm saying.
That's the best part of this whole scenario.
Look, I've been in, like, I used to work on some bullshit jobs back in the day, and there were some times where, like, I'd get into situations where I was like, man, worst thing they can do is fire me, so why don't I go slack off and bullshit and see what happens? Worst thing that happens is they fire me, and it actually wouldn't be that bad.
In the back of your head, you're like, that might be the best thing.
Oh, yeah. Summer jobs at golf courses, like, doing just, like, bullshit grunt work and being like, yeah, if they fire me,
okay,
I don't have to do this job anymore.
Tom was in a really bad spot, right? Everybody's coming down on him, calling him a wimp. He opted out of the fight, and he doesn't want to come back. And Dana White's down his throat. He had no leverage and was in a bad position. With this one move, I actually think Tom Aspinall has turned the tables completely on the UFC, because now he has the leverage, right? If they want him, they're going to have to pay to get him, and they're going to have to treat him with respect. And by the way, this is the exact same stuff Francis Ngannou was talking about, right? When he was on his way out of the UFC, all he said was, the money is fine. The money is great. I want money. But what I need is some accountability from the UFC and respect. I need respect. He was not respected. Tom Aspinall is now in the position to demand respect. If he gets what he wants, he gets paid handsomely and he gets respect. If he doesn't get what he wants, it's that scenario. It's that worst case, like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? You're going to cut me loose? You're going to let me go with Eddie Hearn and negotiate an MMA contract with somebody else? Be careful what you wish for. So from the position that Tom was in one move, with pairing with Eddie Hearn, he's gone from the doghouse, the outhouse, to the penthouse.
Potentially.
I don't see a downside. How could Tom Aspinall lose now? Tell me the scenario where Tom Aspinall loses.
The losing option is him going to boxing and getting a big payday,
getting the most money he'll ever make.
Yeah, I know. I just randomly pulled up the stream and I saw someone in the chat being like, who's going to make money in boxing against? It doesn't matter who he's boxing against. Yeah. He'll be making more than he was making in the UFC. You don't think
Eddie Hearn could get him a decent amount of money to box?
Unequivocally, he will be making more. Look at Conor Ben. The money is just bigger in boxing. The competitiveness between where fighters can go, where they can sign, everything is just bigger over in boxing, so he would be making more money. So yeah, I guess if that's the worst option, then yeah, he kind of is in the penthouse. I guess I'm just thinking about it from the relationship with the UFC, is that this has a high potential of creating a fracture there.
Oh, I think it's done. I think the relationship with the UFC is now, fractured.
Do they continue on through gritted teeth and fake smiles and keep making fights, sort of like they did with Francis Ngannou at the tail end of his career?
I'm so glad you said that. Okay. I'm so glad you asked that question.
All right,
because there's one person who can answer that, and that's Dana White. And you know what? We happen to have a video of Dana White talking about what his role is in this whole infrastructure of combat sports. So let's play that video of Dana White now.
Dana White speaking to
IFL. The thing that I say about, Eddie is, I love this kid and and I have a great relationship with him. You're a wealthy guy and you're going to be a wealthy guy till the day you die. Why would you be upset about a kid that you care about who has a small window of opportunity to make the most money he possibly can, making more money? And if you didn't like the fact, then match the offer. You could have matched the offer. You got plenty of money. You could have done it. And here's the thing: when you're a fight promoter, do you know what my job is? Really, my job is to sign guys that I think are the best in the world, whether they have great personalities or they're a bump on a fucking log. If they're looked at as the baddest dudes in the world, my job is to get them, match them up against other guys that we think are the best in the world, and then I have to figure out how to make enough money for them and me. Okay. That's my job.
So that answers the question, huh? What's his job? His job is to sign guys that are the best in the world.
Tom Aspinall.
Whether they have great personalities or a bumper on a log, if they're the baddest dude in the world, my job as a promoter is to match them up against the other baddest dudes in the world. You heard it from the man himself. My job is to sign those guys. Why wouldn't you want somebody to make the most money they can? He's talking about Eddie Hearn. Why wouldn't Eddie Hearn be happy for Conor Ben making the most money he can? Well, guess what, Dana? Now you've got an opportunity to pay Tom Aspinall the most money he's ever going to see, because his manager, Eddie Hearn, is going to ask you for the most money he's ever going to see. And now you have the option to make him that money. And if you don't come to an agreement with him and he ends up walking out the door, you're going to be happy for him, right? You're going to be thrilled because he's making the most money he's ever going to see. And you're going to be sitting there with a grin. That Tom Aspinall guy, he really did it. I can't believe he did it. He walked out the door and he's going to make the most money he's ever seen. Congratulations, Tom Aspinall. That's what he's saying, yes? I'm waiting for that moment because that sounds like what he's saying. So you tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm off base.
We know it's bullshit. We know he is talking out of his ass. I know he said it. He says a lot of things, though. There is a pettiness when it comes to this man in the UFC negotiating with their fighters. There is an inherent pettiness, and I don't think this is going to help that that pettiness. I think we're going to see it get even nastier, and Tom Aspinall is going to be in the crosshairs. We just saw it in recent years with Francis Ngannou. It got nasty, it got personal, and it ended up not working out in the end with the UFC. He goes on to make millions in boxing. Now,
and Dana was happy for him, right? Because he went on and made the most money he's ever made. Dana was so happy.
Now, if Tom Aspinall goes on to box, what if the Cyril Gane fight was the last fight in the UFC for Tom Aspinall?
It would be horrible from the perspective that is unresolved. I feel Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight fighter on the planet, and that is unresolved. But from Tom Aspinall's perspective, you have to just move on, right? Like, if the opportunity in front of him is you come back to the UFC, but we're going to continue to disrespect you, right? Dana White's going to be at press conferences shitting on you, and you're not going to get paid what a boxer can get paid. And I'll tell you who knows what a boxer can get paid. Eddie Hearn probably has a good sense of what a boxer can get paid. So if that's option A, and option B is, yes, your last fight in the UFC, your last fight potentially in MMA maybe even was that you lost, you had a no contest against Cyril Gane, and you lost your belt because they end up stripping you. Not you didn't lose your belt in the cage, but you lost your belt because they end up stripping you for it. But you get the biggest payday of your life. You go on to box, something you and your dad have always talked about wanting to do. And this is not the first time Tom Aspinall has kind of been frustrated and alluded to trying to go to boxing. I think you have to take that option, right? Now, this is putting the cart before the horse. There's a world where Tom Aspinall fights in the UFC again. But today, I do feel like the chances of him not fighting in the UFC again are exponentially higher than they were 2 hours ago.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is a direct shot.
This to me felt like a line in the sand, and I said that to Ariel.
Of course.
Tom Aspinall put his nuts on the table and said, "You're not pushing me around this time."
I would say this is Dana's number one rival right now is Eddie Hearn.
And now his partner in crime.
Imagine if it was hot in the streets when it was him versus Oscar, and someone had signed with Oscar.
Yeah.
This is going to be fascinating to watch how this plays out.
Man, I just gotta say, I don't have rooting interest in this, right? Like, I do. I'm
rooting for Tom Aspinall.
Well, we know we like Tom Aspinall, right? I want every fighter to have an opportunity like this. This is not a Tom Aspinall situation, right? Tom Aspinall is making a very bold move here.
Yeah, very bold.
In going up against the UFC. To Ariel's point that he made, it seems to be the heavyweight division where guys do this. And he talked about Randy Couture. I'm not sure how familiar you are with that story, but like Randy was one of the guys who was out in front of like, why should I not be able to fight other people? Why should I only be able to fight the guys you tell me that I can fight? Much like the boxing model, I want to go fight this guy for this promotion, go fight this guy, go fight this guy. And he was at odds with the UFC. Francis Ngannou, I just want respect. I want to be able to fight the champion of another promotion. Allow me the latitude to do this. And he was at odds with the UFC. Tom is making a stand, and I respect that position. But I don't have rooting interest in Tom getting what he wants outside of the fact that I like Tom, hope he gets what he wants. But I hope every fighter gets what they want. When you're Israel Adesanya, right? And we just played that clip. Now it's been like 40 minutes since we did that because I didn't expect to go this long and go down this rabbit hole. But if you're Israel Adesanya and you're looking around the landscape and saying, I deserve to be paid $15 million, if Tom Aspinall finds a way to get paid $15 million in the UFC or going out to boxing or some variation of that, does that start other people following that lead and trying to take that tact as well? It was a bold move. I respect the hell out of Tom for taking it. I think, as I said, it's not like, I don't think that this is like a selfless move, right? I don't think that this is Tom Aspinall going, I'm doing this for everybody. I'm doing this for everybody that can follow my lead. But I do think that the impact could be that. I do think that the impact could be others to follow suit. It was a brilliant strategic move. He went from, as I said, the outhouse where bad standing already with the UFC. It's not like he's in good standing with the UFC. Dana White's talking shit on him every chance he can, to the penthouse where his two options seemingly to me, unless I'm overlooking something and this plays out completely differently, the two options are I get what I want from the UFC. They pay me handsomely. I fight. I win. Or I'm gone.
Or I get what I want from Matchroom Boxing.
From somebody else. Or even I don't think it could be Matchroom Boxing. To Ariel's point, he can't represent him in Matchroom Boxing. He can only represent him in boxing elsewhere, and he can also or actually,
I don't know if he can.
He might not
him
even be able to be a promoter for boxing in that regard.
Interesting. So I wonder if he could even sign with Matchroom.
It would have to be potentially MMA, but either way, right? You want a guy like Eddie Hearn representing you. Hey, MVP's got this card coming up on Netflix. I'd want Eddie Hearn negotiating that type of deal. PFL's got an opportunity. Fight Francis Ngannou or whoever else. I like that opportunity.
Okay, this is from last fall. Tom and his team talking about the potential of him going over to box one day.
If he's not bothered about the money, I'd love him to have a very highly paid boxing match for the money. You know, the money's there, and I don't see why somebody as talented as Tom shouldn't have a piece of that money when the boxers are getting 100 times more than 100 times more. The UFC isn't paying that type of money.
Yeah, so this is them saying this on camera. They've done this several times. We know about UFC 321 Fight Week. This is Andy Aspinall, who at the time was his manager. You have to imagine the amount of paydays that Eddie Hearn has dealt with throughout the course of his boxing promotional career. When he finds out what Tom Aspinall is making, he's going to be like, man, this is peanuts compared to what my guys are getting paid.
Okay, so sorry, I got wrapped up in the thing I was looking at and doing. Yes, and as I said, like Tom fancies himself a boxer. Like it would not be a stretch for Tom Aspinall to end up in boxing. His dad believes in his skill set absolutely. They train with some of the best boxers in the world. It makes all the sense in the world. Here's from the Muhammad Ali Act. The bill also prohibits promoters from having a financial interest in the management of a boxer and vice versa, although only for boxers who fight over 10 rounds. So there is language there that might prevent Eddie Hearn from managing a boxer at all, right? From that. So I don't know. I'm sure there's ways to figure out ways around this. Not for nothing, the legislation about the Ali Reform Act might have opportunities to kind of figure out a way to skirt this issue, and maybe people smarter than us, like Eddie Hearn, who have probably looked into it, figured out that there might be a way to do that. But man, this just got turned up to 15.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like it all sparked with the Conor Benn signing. You get Eddie Hearn and Dana White in this massive feud, and now you get UFC fighters Sean Strickland, Sean O'Malley, MVP, Aljamain Sterling, Israel Adesanya coming out and being like, man, I don't really love this. And now you're getting Tom Aspinall, your heavyweight champion of the world, signing with your nemesis to his brand new, newly created talent agency, which is a direct shot at the UFC, which is, oh, you guys don't really like how the way I've been doing? Well, talk to my new manager. He's the guy that you guys hate the most. It feels like there is a boiling over of the fighters sort of being like, man, we're really not getting treated that well. Because like you mentioned earlier, this isn't 10 and 10 guys being like, damn, man, like I need some more money. And they're just like, yeah, fuck off, go fight somewhere else then. These are massive names within your organization. Tom Aspinall, Israel Adesanya, Sugar Sean O'Malley, MVP, Sean Strickland. These are all guys with fan bases and followings who have been established in your organization.
And there's a reason for that. There's a big reason for that beyond the fact that we care about what they have to say more, right? Like I care more about what Sean Strickland has to say or Sean O'Malley or Israel Adesanya over somebody who just fought on Dana White's Contender Series for a variety of reasons, including the fact that I've seen them, they're big stars. The biggest reason we're hearing them speak out on this is, there's a few. One is the 10 and 10 guy, this is the most money he's seeing, right?
Also,
this is a huge opportunity for him.
Huge opportunity. We have also said countless times, the middle of the pack and the lower tier, we actually think are paid fairly for what they're doing.
That's the biggest point, is the gap between what the lower end of the UFC and the middle tier of the UFC is making and what they could be making is smallest. The gap between those two things is the smallest. The middle tier guys and the low tier guys and girls are mostly making what they should be making, maybe even a little bit more. At the top end, when you get to the Israel Adesanya, when you get to the John Jones, when you get to the Sean Strickland, when you get to the headliner level, the gap between what they should be making and what they are making is at its absolute biggest. John Jones asking for $30 million shouldn't be breaking news. John Jones getting paid $30 million shouldn't be breaking news. When you look at the boxing side of things and what those events generate, or even just look at what the UFC profit margin is, $30 million for John Jones is easy, is pocket change that they should be able to pull out of their couch cushions to pay him. And so the reason we're hearing those guys speak out is if I'm Israel Adesanya and I know what I've been paid to this point, or I'm Sean O'Malley and I know what I've been paid to this point, they're doing the math on how many millions of dollars they left on the table, on how many millions of dollars the UFC could have been paying them, but instead wasn't, right? And so that guy who's making 10 and 10, he's just happy to be there. He's loving it, and he's going to get 5 more fights in the UFC and be loving it when he gets his next contract. But when you become a headliner and when you're somebody that the UFC is making money off, right? Because those guys are not selling the pay-per-views. Not that pay-per-view exists anymore. It's Israel Adesanya selling the pay-per-views. It's Sean O'Malley selling the pay-per-views. When you can do the math on that, when you've now sold those pay-per-views and you go, shit, he got paid $15 million and I made $1 million? He got paid $15 million to co-main a card, and I headlined a UFC pay-per-view, and I got $1 million. The math feels off there, right? And so we're going to hear more people speaking out, especially if all of a sudden there's options out there like going to management and being represented by Eddie Hearn, where if Tom Aspinall gets a major payday in some capacity, whether it's at the UFC or not, right? If he's able to leverage it and get a major payday from the UFC or get a major payday from an MMA promotion outside the UFC, it's more unrest. It's more problems.
Okay, let me lay that out for you, because we obviously saw Francis Ngannou go to boxing. He gets the opportunity against Tyson Fury
Was it
and
20
Anthony
million?
Joshua. Yeah, it makes an insane amount of money.
Yep.
Which do you think career path is better? Being a long-reigning UFC heavyweight champion, let's say 5-6 title defenses, Eddie Hearn's your manager, who knows how much money you're going to make, or you go and you take the boxing path and you get, let's say, 2 fairly big boxing matches. I don't know if he's going to get Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua type level of guys, but he gets 2 pretty big matches in boxing and makes $10-15 million.
Okay. One, what do you, to go back to old New York Rick, that used to be a meme. What do you mean by better? Right? We have to define better. If you're talking, if my goal is to prove I am the best fighter on the planet, it's the long UFC career, right? And there are many people who, when Francis Ngannou left the UFC, went, "That's great. Good for him for making that money." But I wanted to see him fight John Jones because I wanted to know who the best fucking heavyweight on the planet is. If you want to be the best fighter on the planet in your weight class, that happens in the UFC. I don't think there's a boxer alive who can say that they're a better fighter than a UFC fighter at the top level. It's just a different game, right? Like UFC, Israel Adesanya said it in his clips. They use all the weapons, right? In boxing, they're only using certain weapons. If I want to make the most money, it's the easiest decision in the world, and it's the boxing fight, coupled with the idea that, like, when we're talking about Francis Ngannou, it wasn't just that he got to fight Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. He also has a contract with the PFL that conceivably is higher than whatever he was getting paid in the UFC. So it's not just you get 2 boxing paydays. It's you get 2 boxing paydays, but you're also the hottest free agent in MMA as well. And now Ronda Rousey came out and explicitly said, "I'm getting paid what I'm worth, and that's why I'm fighting Gina Carano on Netflix on this MVP card. The UFC didn't want to pay me that." And so that's out there. That's public knowledge. Ronda Rousey didn't mince words when she said that. If you're an MMA fighter and you come into that environment, it might be more than just the 2 or 3 paydays. It might be a long-term solution. It might be you become the prize jewel. So it is very fascinating what could happen here. I continue to say that the UFC, TKO fucked up with the way that this Conor Ben shit came out.
Another question that I have about this, Dana White has said that he will be making the White House card announcement within the week.
Yes.
He said it several times, but he says the card is now done. I will be making the announcement. It could be on 326. Who knows? Are we going to get a promo? Are we getting an IG Live? Is he going to make the announcement? There are rumors of Alex Pereira being on that card, moving up to heavyweight. It could be against Cyril Gane. It could be against John Jones. I think an indication of how they feel about this could be given if one of those fights is announced, and if it's either for the interim heavyweight title or if it's for the vacant heavyweight title.
If it is for the vacant heavyweight title,
that feels
like we are not you will never see Tom Aspinall in the UFC again.
Okay, that also leads me to, we were just being like, could this be the turning point for the heavyweight division? We're going to get Alex Pereira up there. We're going to get John Jones back, and Gable Stevenson just won, and Tom Aspinall says he's getting back to business. Let me lay out a disaster scenario for you for the heavyweight division.
Tell me.
What's up, guys? Want to announce the UFC White House card main event. Alex Pereira versus John Jones for the vacant heavyweight title. That'll be going down June 14th, blah, blah, blah. We've stripped Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, essentially, who knows what happens with his career. John Jones versus Alex Pereira.
Yep.
John Jones does his thing. He's going to be a massive favorite in that fight. He walks through Alex Pereira. He gets on the microphone. He retires. Alex Pereira is now 0-1 at heavyweight. Gable Stevenson, we see him come whenever. Now, Tom is potentially out. Alex didn't have any success at heavyweight. John Jones retires, and maybe Gable comes over to the heavyweight division.
Gable versus Cyril for the title.
Heavyweight is
solved.
Heavyweight is saved.
It stinks. It really stinks, and it's the problem with it is not, there's nobody to blame individually, right? Here, it's not John's fault. It's not Tom's fault. It's that the heavyweight division is just not good. There is not enough talent on that. If I was in the position of the UFC, if I'm making the decisions there, I would make John have to fight again. That would be contingent. If you want to fight on the White House card and you're going to fight for our title against Alex Pereira in a matchup that I think favors John Jones, you must at least defend it once. That would be my pitch to him. That would be my negotiation with John Jones, especially on the heels of this Tom Aspinall news.
Better stock up on the ibuprofen, man.
Yeah, get that arthritis.
Your arthritis is going to be acting up.
If you win, I can't have you walking out the door again. We just did this, John. Yeah. We can't do this again. That would be my condition. And then you have him fight Cyril Gane. If he beats Cyril Gane, at that point it's like, all right, like if he walks away, he walks away. We're going to have to reset this whole heavyweight division regardless. Like
Cyril Gane against John Jones again.
What else do you do?
Nothing.
Or
it's tough, man.
Or you just let him walk out, and you do put Cyril Gane versus somebody. I continue to say Gable Stevenson just because they need somebody. They need it needs to be Tom or it needs to be Gable. You need somebody who or Alex Pereira.
Getting to the point. In the disaster scenario I laid out, we're getting to the point where we're depending on a guy who has 3 professional MMA fights and hasn't even debuted in the UFC.
Okay. There is a world also where Alex Pereira comes in there and cold cocks John.
Yeah,
and
of course,
cleans him out.
But the likelihood of that is low. I saw look-ahead lines, and John Jones was like a -500 favorite against him.
Well, you have to imagine the size and the wrestling is going to be a big problem for Alex Pereira.
And the skill. John Jones is one of the greatest MMA fighters ever as well.
You're not wrong. He is the greatest MMA fighter ever. And so it's a tough position for the UFC. This is why it's a brilliant leverage move. It's a brilliant negotiation move by Tom Aspinall. You need him more than you've ever needed him before. You need Tom Aspinall.
Do they?
Yes.
That's the thing. It's just like they did Francis dirty. They claim that they didn't need Francis. Like, it's just like, it just feels like the machine will keep running no matter what, and they are hell-bent on maintaining this power over the fighters.
They had John then.
Yeah.
They don't have John anymore.
What a fucking ripple effect Zuffa Boxing has created in the world of combat sports, and I haven't seen a single Zuffa Boxing match live.
All they needed to do was leave Conor Ben alone. That's all they had to do. They had to just leave Conor Ben alone, not piss off Eddie Hearn. Man, what the fuck?
I don't know how this is going to play out. I truly don't. I don't know who this is going to benefit the most. I don't know the future of how this lays out, but it's fascinating. I was with someone the other week, last week, and I was trying to explain to them like the drama that goes on, and they were like, "Oh, like the fights are crazy." I was like, "Yeah, sometimes the fights are pretty crazy, but like the drama outside of the sport is nuts." And I started kind of diving into the Eddie versus Dana thing, and like they were like, "This is insane. I can't believe a sport provides this much." I was like, "Yeah, it's like a soap opera. It's like a reality TV show. It just like doesn't stop." And like the news is moving so fast, and it's just like, oh, Dana signs Conor Ben. Oh, Eddie Hearn's going. I'm starting a talent agency, and now we're getting Tom Aspinall. It's mad. It's insane. I don't know what the ramifications are going to be. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I am incredibly intrigued, especially with the fact that like, Oh, Eddie Hearn, you've got a big announcement. Oh, congratulations on your talent agency, and now you're a manager for an MMA fighter. Here's the UFC White House card, and John Jones is going to fight Alex Pereira. It's just going to be tit for tat with these guys for who knows how long. Tom Aspinall says that he is releasing a YouTube video tonight at 7 p.m. detailing his trip to Monaco, but he did post a little snippet on his social. I actually haven't seen this yet. Here's that clip.
I look at you and I think you are one of the biggest stars in global fight sports. So time to put some respect on that, time to build that brand, build that profile. Our role with you is to sit across the team to do that. We need to get him back. And by the way, we don't even have to get him back to the top, because guess what? He is the top. You're the UFC World Heavyweight Champion. It don't get any bigger than that.
So, my American ass was just like, 7 p.m. is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, baby, right here in New York City. He was referring to GMT, which 7 o'clock was 10 minutes ago. So that video is already up if you want to go view it. After the show, after the show is over, of course. Don't leave us here. You know, you can watch that afterward. Fascinating stuff, though, man. Fascinating stuff.
Man, my head is like,
I love
swirling.
it. I have to say, I love it. I absolutely love it.
The drama's great.
The drama is fantastic.
I just can't wait to see how this plays out. And I today is the press conference for the UFC. Have to imagine that Dana White's going to be asked about this move, and it would be very interesting to see what he says about Tom Aspinall.
Will he be asked about it?
Yes, 1,000%.
How do you feel about fighting in Las Vegas, Nevada? No, I'm just kidding.
There is not if Dana White is not asked about it at this press conference, it will be the biggest dereliction of duty of all time. He will 100% be asked about it.
You got guys like Oscar Willis there, Mike Bond. You got
he will be
Youngs. He will be asked about it. I'm not worried about it.
Beating up babies.
Doesn't feel like it right now.
I don't know. How much does a manager impact all of this? I know it's a shot. It's dramatic. I don't know. I don't know how it plays out.
I think I've said variations of this, but I'll say it plainly. I think the Eddie Hearn part of this is minimal. It's not the manager part. It's the Tom Aspinall part.
Yeah.
Tom making this move is more significant than the Dana versus Eddie, Dana versus Eddie, Dana versus Eddie.
For sure.
That's why it doesn't really matter that Eddie is his manager. Well, it matters that Eddie is his manager because I think he'll be very good at it. I think he'll be very competent at it. He's been a great promoter for a long time. He's just a smart man, and he has the gift of gab. Tom Aspinall drawing that line in the sand, that to me feels like the news of the day. Tom Aspinall saying, I will not be shoved around by Dana White in the UFC anymore.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Boy.
What are we talking about now?
I love it. I'm putting words in Tom's mouth, but I think we all agree that that's what the sentiment feels like from our...
Whether that was the sentiment he was trying to get across, it's the sentiment that's being put across.
That's what's
and that is how Dana White and the UFC will interpret it.
Yeah.
You know what's going on between us.
Yeah. Boy.
No, actually, I haven't been keeping up with the news lately.
I was like, I thought me and Tom were going for dinner.
I just went to Monaco, man. They put a contract in front of me. Seems like a good bloke. I saw pictures of you guys. You guys are friends. I saw the picture of you, him, and Connor Bennett, the PI.
Oh, yeah.
You guys all get along swimmingly. All right, what are we talking about? 326? Is that the next topic?
Who fucking cares?
I
sure,
care.
whatever.
I care.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to this weekend. Let's go to UFC 326. And let's start with the main event.
Yeah. All right, I do care. The main event's sick.
I will say, this is about the only one I really want to talk about. Main card's good.
Your main event is the main event?
The main event is GC's main event. It is the people's main event. It is the fight of the card. It's Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira in a rematch of a fight that took place 11 years ago in the August of 2015, the famous fight at the SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Absolutely nailed that one. Unfortunately, that one ended about 90 seconds. Charles Oliveira got a shoulder injury. So now we get to see them at the peak of their powers.
Probably not,
Maybe
right?
a couple years removed.
I think it's like 2 or 3 years ago. You probably could have said that.
Max Holloway, maybe,
But-
man. Max Holloway's been looking great.
That's he's not at his peak, but I will say, especially the Ilya knockout showed that like the chin could be cracked.
But man, he looked fucking good.
They both are not very diminished. I like where they're both at. Like I feel like they're still top fighters. Like in the way that I feel like they have more left in the tank than say like Justin Gaethje, right? And Justin Gaethje just won the interim title.
I was gonna say they're part of this class of old dudes that just will not go away.
Yeah.
It's just like we're too good. Bobby
But
Green
do you
last week.
disagree? I feel like they have more than like a Gaethje, Chandler. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, well, Max Holloway's still only what, 32, 33? I know
He's
he
got
has
miles.
I know
He's got
a million
miles.
Like,
So does Charles.
yeah, of course. But like, they are still like relatively.
How old is Charles?
Young. I want to say Charles is 34.
Charles is 36.
Okay, I'm off. And Max is 33.
Charles has been in the UFC since
2012.
2010.
Fuck, I was 2 years off on everything.
2010.
That's so long.
So that's
I
what,
was
16 years ago? Yeah, that's
I
August
was a fucking sophomore in high school when this guy debuted. That feels like an eternity ago for me. And this guy's just been plugging along in the old
What
UFC.
about Max?
One of the most
Max's
legendary
debut was when?
2012. Dustin Poirier.
Max was 12 for
Yeah,
sure.
There it is. I think. That's what I'm like making an educated guess.
2012, Dustin Poirier. Good on you.
Nailed it.
So yes, Charles has been in the UFC longer.
You want to know how long they've been in the UFC? This fight 11 years ago, obviously at the Sasktel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, legendary. It was both of their first main events ever in their UFC careers. Since then, Charles has headlined 5 pay-per-views, and this will be his 9th overall UFC
Headliner.
main event.
Yep.
Yeah, headline. Holloway has headlined 8 pay-per-views, and this is his 14th main event. Guys went on to have pretty good careers.
Yeah, it did. Charles was later to the star game.
Yeah, obviously,
But
he goes on that unreal run.
he has really maximized it in later years. Yeah, I think both guys are still pretty damn good, to your point, right? Like, I don't think they're at their peak, but they're not far enough off from their peak that I think it's even worth like factoring in. I think they look so good lately.
Charles Oliveira goes out there and gets starched by Ilya. Out cold, scary shit. Comes back 3 months later, 3.5 months later against Gamrot, and everyone's doubting him. You know, he's coming back too early off the KO, Gamrot, grappling, blah, blah, blah. Looks fantastic.
Styles on him.
Wins by finish in front of his home crowd. It feels like these guys, like you just like can't keep them down. It's
What did
just like,
Max Holloway do?
Max Holloway lost to Ilya Topuria in October and then goes out there and styles on Dustin Poirier in his last fight.
Yeah.
Beats Justin Gaethje, moving up a weight class for the BMF belt.
Yeah, so they both lost to Ilya and then showed, Ilya Topuria is just actually like one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
It's like that Ilya Topuria guy's like
He's pretty good.
Pretty good.
He's pretty good. He's got a lot of power. He's pretty nasty. But yeah, to me, that is more indicative of how good Ilya Topuria is. Not that I feel like Charles or Max is diminished. Like Mateus Gamrot is a savage. Like is an elite lightweight, and Charles made it look relatively easy. We don't need to talk. Max's wins incredibly impressive, and it's the same thing every time. It's just that steady diet of like, I'm going to feed you punches until you just can't to handle this anymore, and he does it to everybody except Ilya Topuria and Volk. All due respect to a legend in Alexander Volkanovski, but these are two guys that beat everybody. If you're not named Ilya Topuria, they beat you. That is what this is. And so you're getting two guys who one of them has to lose, unfortunately for the fans. You know, there's been a lot of talk of like, can it just be a draw? Or
I love both these guys. I'm wearing the Blessed Ever hoodie with the Holloway point down logo. Shout out, all-time hoodie. He should restock them at some point. But I also love Charles Oliveira. I want to see a winner. I actually don't know who I'm cheering for. It's going to be one of those. I actually don't know if I'm going to cheer for anyone. It's going to be one of those fights where I get into it. I know, but sometimes, down deep in the brain, you're kind of like
subconscious. You got something.
Subconsciously cheering for someone. This is one where I really don't think I'm going to be cheering for anyone. And you say, unless you're Ilya Topuria, you add the losses, and you're like, oh, sorry, or Alexander Volkanovski against Max Holloway. Oh, sorry, or Islam Makhachev or Arman Sarukian for Charles Oliveira. These guys only lose to the best of the best. They have both been champions with several title defenses each. Like they are at the peak of the game. They are fan friendly, and the fights are always incredible. Charles Oliveira, you talk about miles, 47 professional fights for bro. 41 have not gone the distance. Like, he is a king of chaos. He gets in there and, like, I remember when they were pricing lines during that title run of, like, under 2.5 at, like, minus 160. And I was like, I have to take this. And it's over in the first round, whether he win, lose, or...
He's the championship Terrence McKinney. He's the elite Terrence McKinney.
He's the elite level Terrence McKinney, like, legit. And then Max Holloway, I understand he goes to more decisions, but, bro... He ain't sitting there and hugging and laying and praying like or point fighting. He's putting up 400 significant strikes on Calvin Kattar. Like, they always deliver. I know that they're going to deliver on Saturday night. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for it. But to the fight itself, Max Holloway, round like a minus 220 favorite. How do you see it playing out?
I like Max in this one. I don't think that Charles Oliveira's style is one that is going to frustrate Max Holloway, right? Max has seen every variation of a guy, and both of them have. It's fair to say that both of these guys have been fighting so long and against upper level talent that they've seen every style. Charles Oliveira's like chaotic pressure first. I'm just going to try to melt you here, and if I can't melt you, then you might have a chance. That style is not one that I think is going to frustrate Max Holloway too much, because I think Max is going to be able to use his footwork and just basically do what Max does. The way to beat Max is Volkanovski showed me a way to beat Max that I didn't even think was possible, right? Which was basically, I'm going to win the exchanges with Max Holloway, which most people can't do. You'd be rare to find somebody. We know how good a boxer Dustin Poirier is. He didn't win the exchanges with Max Holloway. Like, it is hard.
I don't think Charles Oliveira can on the feet.
That's where I think Charles doesn't have that option, right? He's not Volk. I don't think he can win those exchanges. And we saw it in Volk's 2 fights with Diego Lopez, where everybody was like, what if they get into exchanges? No, Volk's going to win those too. Volk is just a different breed. If you're not number 1 or 2 pound for pound fighter in the world, you're not beating Charles or Max. That's basically it. Yeah. Volk was a number 1, number 2 pound for pound guy. Ilya's a number 1 or number 2 pound for pound guy. And Islam's a number 1 or number 2 pound for pound guy. Those are the guys. Charles's style, I don't think is going to frustrate Max to the point that he gets off his game, which is high volume, peppering you so that you can't really do anything against me. The chaos, I don't think will be a problem. And so in that scenario, Charles will have to finish Max, in my opinion. And we also know how hard that is, right? Charles forces those exchanges. He forces those scrambles. He forces the chaos. His striking has come a major, major way since the early days of Charles Oliveira. He is a powerful, crisp striker now. He has a lot of pop and snap that Max Holloway doesn't necessarily, right? Max's best punches are the ones that are going to prevent you from getting off your game and kind of stifle you, not the ones that take you out. The Justin Gaethje one was kind of lightning in a bottle. That was just this moment, this moment of brilliance. I don't expect that Max Holloway is going to be looking for a knockout against Charles Oliveira. He tends to not be looking for a knockout. He's kind of a guy who is just going to make you wilt in a different way than Charles will. So style for style, I just like the way Max fights. And I don't think that Charles's style is going to affect Max in the same way that Max's style might prevent Charles from doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, to me, it's funny. The UFC actually posted the first fight. It's not long. I just went back and just watched it just for the memories, and just to look back on it. It obviously wasn't a fight I was watching live at the time in 2015. You actually see in the fight, we see it so often in Charles Oliveira fights where like he ends up on his back and he's sort of like, come on, bro. Yeah. And like the person's like, nah, it happens in the fight. And Max is like, bro, get back up. Yep. And then that ultimately leads to the shoulder injury. I imagine if there's that scenario where it goes to the ground like that and Max is not on his back getting taken down by Charles Oliveira, he is going to be wise enough to be like, come on, bro, like get up. We're going to stay in the striking. We're going to stay in my wheelhouse. If it stays standing, especially for 25 minutes, which I can't imagine Charles Oliveira is going to commit to just trying to keep it standing for 25 minutes, I can't imagine Max Holloway is not going to be able to put that pace, the pressure, the weaponized cardio, the volume onto Charles Oliveira. And I actually do think he is live for a finish. We've seen Charles Oliveira hurt in a lot of his fights. Max Holloway knocked out Korean Zombie. I know that was sort of like a point to the ground-esque performance from Korean Zombie. He was kind of just like, bro, I'm just going to risk it all. Yeah. We saw him knock out Justin Gaethje. I know that was at the last second. We saw him drop Dustin Poirier in that fight. I would not be surprised if a KO or a TKO is on the table for Max Holloway here. But I do think over the course of 25 minutes, Max Holloway is just going to be able to outpoint Charles Oliveira. Now, with all that said, counting out Charles Oliveira in a fight sometimes is not a wise decision to make. I think he is always live with his finishing capability. I understand that Max is difficult to finish. He's been subbed once in his career, knocked out once, obviously, by Ilia Topuria. I don't see Charles Oliveira being able to knock out Max Holloway. That chin is still ironclad, whether it's fading or not. There was no knockdowns. Now, he gets dropped by DP. There was that moment in the Gaethje fight where it looked like he stumbled as well. I don't think that happens for Charles Oliveira. But man, if he gets on his back, dude, he is obviously live. So I'm picking Max Holloway. I think he's live for a TKO or a KO late. I imagine, decision is obviously on the table for him as well. But I am not counting Charles Oliveira out at all.
Are you at all concerned, as somebody who thinks Max will win the fight, we're aligned on that Charles might just come in trying to wrestle? Wouldn't
shock me at all.
The Charles Oliveira that fought Max the first time was not an offensive fighter in the way that he is now. He was not as disciplined. He was not as dangerous. He was not as lethal. He was a crazy jiu-jitsu player. Like, don't get me wrong, the submissions were there, but the entries into the submissions, the opportunity to force the scrambles that caused some of these submissions, it was not the same. This guy, and we've seen it in fights, when he was the champion or on his way to the championship, his commitment to grappling is much more dedicated now than it was previously.
We don't even need to go to the championship run. You can just look at the Michael Chandler fight.
100%.
He got a takedown every single round of that fight and racked up like 15 minutes of control time.
When he needs to, he has been very good at that. And so I do wonder how much it's going to come into play. That's not the most fan-friendly version of this fight, right? The more fan-friendly version of this fight is Charles Oliveira, flat-footed, walking forward, trying to nuke Max, and Max being like, yeah, let me give you everything back. So I wonder, we haven't seen Max have to really get that bag out in a while. We haven't really seen Max have to stop takedowns from a guy who might be kind of relentless in trying to get them. And not for nothing, Charles is a big boy. Charles is a big boy. And so I do wonder if the strength and the technique might come into play more. I'm just so used to Charles not doing that, right? I can't, like, the Michael Chandler fight almost feels like the exception that proves the rule, right? It feels like the outlier. The real version of Charles Oliveira is the one that we love, that's just like relentless, coming in. Fuck it. Ilia Topuria is the hardest hitter in the world. I don't give a shit. I'm going to try and strike with him. I'm going to be more aggressive. That feels like the real version of Charles, the guy that we love and the guy that we see. But if the other guy shows up, I do think there's going to be a problem for Max Holloway.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Michael Chandler has had great submission defense in that fight. It wasn't just lay and pray. Charles Oliveira was making attempts at getting submissions in that one. Obviously, that fifth round got hectic and chaotic. I guess we'll just see. Like, I think we'll find out quickly whether or not he's going to commit to that game plan and whether or not he can implement that game plan as well. There is a world where he goes in and tries to wrestle and Max is just like, nah, not happening. I mean, we just saw it with Fluffy Hernandez against Sean Strickland.
Yep.
He couldn't even get close to trying to take him down. If Charles Oliveira isn't able to get Max Holloway to the ground, then it might be curtains for him.
Let me look this up. Who's like the last guy that really would have tried to wrestle Max?
Ilia got a couple takedowns in that fight. Volk got a few.
Yeah, but look, we know what Ilia wants to do, right?
Brian Ortega, but that was like 8 years ago.
Brian Ortega didn't do much of anything in that fight. I'll tell you what. Max Holloway just beat the fucking brakes off that. Oh, a Volk maybe, right? Did Volk try to wrestle in the third one, or did he just pick him apart on the feet? I don't remember that fight too well.
Which one? The
final one.
Oh yeah, he was just piecing them up.
Yeah, maybe it's I'm looking around here. I don't know if there's anybody I would say is as good as Charles Oliveira on the ground here that I think could make a concerted effort to take him down. So if he comes in with that game plan, I think it's going to get very fascinating. The last guy that I would say is as good a grappler as Charles Oliveira is Brian Ortega, and Brian Ortega didn't have a chance to do anything. He fell in love with his boxing and just got obliterated to the point that Max was showing him how to box in the middle of the fight. And then the one before that is Charles Oliveira. Like, he hasn't really faced a lot of grapplers that I think are of the caliber of Charles Oliveira. So I am picking Max because I think it plays out more on the feet. But if it does not, I think it's all Charles. I think it's in his world. So it's going to be fascinating to see where it does play out.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be scenes when they're both making their walks. The arena is going to be going insane. I imagine that they're going to deliver an entertaining fight, and whoever wins, the fans are going to go crazy. It's going to be brilliant. It's a fantastic main event.
Do they have to make weight for BMF fights? I forget. Do they have to make championship weight?
I don't think you have to make 155.
Okay,
that is a good question.
I forget that. I don't remember if they had to do that.
Who's to check?
Yeah, it's good. We could check that actually. Wait, actually. Here, I have Max Holloway's record up.
I mean, he may have just made 155 anyway.
Dustin Poirier, he came in at 155. Justin Gaethje, he came in at Oh, wait a minute, 156.
Yeah, 156. Yeah. I imagine they wouldn't. I mean, it's not a real title.
It's not.
Oh,
I love this fight, man.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You don't even need the BMF belt on it or not. Okay, so whoever does win is obviously in title contention, but they're sort of down in the line. There's the Arman Tsarukyan, and there's the Justin Gaethje who just won the interim belt. Like, it's not necessarily next for them.
They also both got knocked out by Ilia Topuria.
Of course, yes. They both have bad losses to Ilia Topuria. They're both big names in the sport. They're both kind of legends in the sport at this point. Conor McGregor churning, rumors, potential of him coming back. Could either of them be next for Conor McGregor?
I think that would be the odds-on favorite. And
you think winner?
We do, yeah. I think winner. We do like the asset review and all the stuff at the beginning of the show. The one I forgot was we had that video the other day of Conor McGregor outside the pub.
Yeah,
that might have been yesterday.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Yeah, they're talking about the title." I don't think that was in reference to
not
Ilia
a
Topuria.
UFC belt.
I think that was
BMF
obviously
title.
in reference to the BMF title. And so, I think the winner of this fight is entered into the Conor McGregor sweepstakes. I think that's the...
And I know when we bring up Conor McGregor, he hasn't fought since 2021. I understand that, but he is the biggest name in the sport. And actually, Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira were both asked about him this week during media days. Here's what Max had to say in terms of, title, McGregor. What do you think, man?
What would you prefer? Would you take the money fight with McGregor, or would you take the UFC title fight?
I mean, bro, I feel like the title shot would be there no matter what, you know what I mean? So you got to take the money fight when you can, I think both of it is money fight, but McGregor is McGregor, You'd be stupid as hell not to fight him.
Do you think he could make 55 still, though? That's the question.
I don't know, bro. I mean, you've been seeing him. You've been looking yoked, stacked, so we'll see what happens.
So you hear it there from Max. If given the option, the Conor McGregor red panty night is still the way he wants to go. Hard to blame him on that. Here's what Charles Oliveira had to say about a potential fight with Conor McGregor.
You mentioned wanting the undisputed belt after this. A lot of questions about Conor McGregor and defending the title against him after this. How real do you think that could be? And I assume if you were to fight Conor, it would have to be at 170. So was that appeal to you as well?
Você falou sobre lutar pelo cinturão dos leves depois, você já comentou sobre isso, mas também fala-se de Conor McGregor, sempre ficou essa coisa no ar de você lutar contra o Conor. O quão real é você lutar contra o Conor, que talvez quisesse esse cinturão BMF e que teria que ser nos meio-médios? Como é que você sente em relação a lutar contra o Conor?
Cara, na realidade, sendo bem verdadeiro, mais uma vez...
Being truthful, I've always been, and I will again, to fight Conor, it would be for the money. That's it.
You hear it there? Charles Oliveira, the money. It would make a lot of sense for me for the winner of this fight to fight Conor McGregor. The reporter for Full Send asked Max Holloway if he thinks Conor would make it down to 155. I don't think there's any obligation on that front to get down to 155. They can fight at 70. They can make up, BMF is not weight class dependent, even though it happens to be with Max right now in the lightweight division. I would love for Max Holloway and Conor McGregor to not have to cut weight, fight at 170, maybe even more, whatever catch weight you want. Pounds, same for Charles Oliveira. No issues on my end. And I think it's the fight that makes the most sense. If you're Charles Oliveira or Max Holloway, who are trying to get back to a title, but Ilia Topuria, the man who brutally knocked them out, is standing right there, and there's Justin Gaethje and Arman Tsarukyan ahead of you, it makes all the sense in the world to just go after the Conor McGregor fight. And you win that, now you're right back in the conversation as GC Army crawls through. Oh, wow, well done. He's back. But, yeah, It makes too much sense to do, and especially Max Holloway and Conor McGregor have a history. They fought early in both of their UFC careers, and Charles Oliveira, when he was the champion, he kept talking about a Conor McGregor fight. People kept saying they wanted to see him fight Conor. It's all lined up there. Winner should fight Conor McGregor.
Now, is there any concern with where Conor is at in his career? Hasn't fought in 5 years. Whoever wins this is obviously still killing it. They're still at the peak of their game. Is there any concern that it's a mismatch?
Who else is he coming back against, though?
Nate Diaz?
I mean, I'd love that. That's my number one option. But it just seems to not have traction right now, right? Like, we're not really hearing any whispers of Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor. Or maybe we have heard whispers of that.
He put it on his story.
But it doesn't feel like he's done that a billion times. And also, Conor McGregor seems to be enamored by the idea of this BMF title, of this title. He's already had 2 titles in 2 different weight classes. This would be a 3rd title, even though, we just said it, you said it was a piece of shit that nobody wants. He could capture it. Yeah, I think it was like, I might be paraphrasing. This actually just made
respect silver in this household.
Well, this actually just made me think of when we were talking about Gaethje and Patty, that I ranked the BMF title above that one, and I keep calling it the Mickey Mouse belt because it's such bullshit, the interim title. I actually respect the BMF title much more than I respect Justin Gaethje's interim title.
The difficulty with the BMF belt, as we just mentioned, they both have brutal knockout losses to the champion.
How can you be the BMF?
It's Ariel always makes this point. Like, how can you be the BMF if you've both been knocked out by the champion?
Listen, we don't make the rules on the silver.
Shout out to the silver, man.
Do you agree? Conor makes a lot of sense for the winner of this fight.
Yeah, it gets a massive payday for a legend. Both of these guys widely recognized by all fans, casual, diehard, everyone. Everyone loves them. Them getting a huge payday against the biggest star in the sport. His return fight would be massive. Makes sense.
Where does it rank in options? For me, Nate Diaz is 1.
Yes, of course. Nate Diaz is 1 because that's a guy that is also beloved, a massive superstar as well.
Under that
trilogy.
I'm down for Max or Charles.
I know someone brought it up to me today in the cafeteria. In our cafeteria they have big screens and everything like that, and they'll play the boys in the back on one TV. Shout out to that one TV. But as we're waiting, you can see the thumb, and some guy walks by and he's just like, "Oh, is Conor really coming back? Like, could he actually fight him?" And I'm like, predicting whether or not Conor McGregor is coming back is not a wise thing to try to do, but yeah, it could be against the winner of this fight on Saturday. He's like, really? I was like, well, who else could it be? Like Nate Diaz, maybe? He's like, yeah, I don't know. And then that made me start thinking, actually, who else could it be against?
It's like the options are ones that feel less realistic, right? There's Nate that I think everybody thinks that's their best option, number 1 option. Islam Makhachev would make a lot of sense just from the perspective of the rivalry with Khabib, right? If you wanted to sell pay-per-views in a previous era, that would be a fight that you could make. But I don't think that that's realistic. I don't think Conor McGregor would be competitive in that fight, nor would they put him in that fight. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, both aging stars, right? Even though they're in their mid-30s, as we said, for Charles, it was 2010 when he made his UFC debut, and for Max, it was 2012. They've been in this game a long time. So I think that can conceivably make sense. Then you get down to Carlos Praches has been chirping, saying shit about Conor McGregor. Right? But I would rather see Max or Charles than Carlos Praches by a lot.
1000%. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, both the dudes are interested in it. They know it's that payday. I mean, even Max was just title's always there, bro. A Conor McGregor fight is not. And he's fought Conor McGregor before.
By the way, I don't know that that's true. Max is saying that. I don't know that that's actually true. I don't think that a title is always there. But I don't think that there's any doubt that if you give most people the option between Conor McGregor and a title shot, they will take Conor McGregor.
Technically speaking, the title isn't always there, but this is a guy who's fought for the belt many, many times.
He's held it.
Lightweight and featherweight. So a Conor McGregor fight is much more important to him, and it feels like a fight he'd be pretty heavily favored in. He's been looking good as of late.
Is that the one that Conor won where he injured his knee but wrestled and beat Max? Yeah, Conor beat Max, right?
Early in his career,
yeah. So Max would want revenge for that.
It would be incredible to see. We'll obviously have to see who the winner is.
Is that the last guy to really wrestle? That might be the guy. Unless I'm misremembering that fight. Conor blew his knee out and
wrestled to get
wrestled Max to a decision.
We've seen this week that it probably is not going to be McGregor on the White House card. There's potential that he could be on that International Fight Week card. They want to capitalize on a return fight for McGregor. It obviously means big business for them. Dana White does say, we're good. We're done. We got it. The White House card has been made, and they're potentially going to be announcing it this weekend. Here's what he had to say about it.
Are we getting the White House main event announcement this week?
I'll announce the whole card this week. The card's done. Yeah, the card's done. We've been so secretive about this, so I have all these boards, which I'm sure you've seen, hanging in our war room. This isn't even on the board. We bring in a whiteboard, we write the fights down, then we erase them every time we have a matchmaking meeting, which usually matchmaking meetings are every Tuesday. They've been every day for the last, 2.5 weeks.
Is Conor McGregor going to be on that card, being Irish at basket?
We'll see. We'll see, brother.
Is Conor McGregor going to be on that card? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm starting to think that it makes all the sense in the world that they want to capitalize on the money that can be made. They're already losing a lot on this White House card. You'd have to pay him an insane amount of money to perform and not be able to get tickets off of it.
The odds on John Jones versus Alex Pereira for the vacant UFC heavyweight title are skyrocketing right now. If I was buying stocks, I'd have stock in John versus Alex for a vacant title.
I was looking at the betting lines and it said John versus Alex for the interim title minus 150 this morning. I just checked John versus Alex for the vacant heavyweight title minus 1,000 now.
Yeah,
obviously that isn't actually serious.
You were joking
for that. I'm just joking about that. But yeah, very interested to see. Praying. Really, really, really hoping that they give us like an actual announcement package. That it's not Dana White on IG Live.
At the event for
at the event, post it on their Instagram or their Twitter. However, like to me, it makes all the sense. Right before the main event is about to start, we've got a special announcement for you. White House lawn, blah, blah, blah. And they announce who's going to be on the card that way.
Is Trump in the video?
1,000%. We'll probably get Cash Patel.
Does Trump make the announcement? See, that's where I feel like Trump has to make the announcement. If you want this thing to be as big as possible, no UFC video package is going to do it. It should be Trump.
He does it from the same place that he throws on the USA hat, the same place that he did the declaration of war.
Yeah, we'll just go to the Oval Office.
Coming in
to the Oval Office.
UFC White House card.
Trump's there. He has to, right?
Okay. What do you think's more likely? Trump is making the announcement, or Dana White is on an Instagram Live in his private jet, and he's like, we're going to do Jared Cannonier versus Brendan Allen. Two good middleweights there. And then John Jones, Piera.
No,
right.
he's not chill. He's not chill. Don't do it like that.
Slapbox this weekend, UFC 327, UFC 326, and don't forget Zuffa 4 on Sunday night. All right.
Call me naive, call me an idiot. I do think it's more likely we get like a really big package. Trump either in it or Trump makes the announcement. Why? If you have this, the whole thing of this is we're doing it at the White House. We've got access to the president of the United States of America. If you announce it any other way, you're an idiot. You're actually stupid. What could possibly make you not want to do it that way?
Have to announce it in a way that has some
gravitas,
some panache,
yes,
some juice behind it. Then you can play it on CBS and run it for the next 4 months. And my mom will be like, "Oh, Connor, did you see that they're doing UFC fights?"
Yeah, I heard, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. Thanks for letting me know. I hadn't seen that yet. I've just been guessing at what it could be for the last 5 fucking months. Thanks, Mom. All right, Mom.
All right.
All right, one last thing on Max and Charles. We've obviously been seeing these face-offs on the Paramount Plus thing with all the crazy lights behind him and everything. It looks like it'll be this sick production. Turned out to not really be much on UFC 324. I'm hoping for this one it's going to be better. But Max and Charles, they had to do the announcement press conference, faced off. Now here they are doing the Paramount Plus.
Wait a minute.
Face-off.
Hold on 1 second here.
What's up?
Let's bring that back up. It can just be a still. We don't have to replay the video. I just want to see like the last frame of that.
What's on? What do you see, bro?
They've got Charles on Tapology, at least. I don't know what the UFC has. They've got Charles listed at 5'10".
Okay.
And they've got Max listed at 5'11". Do you see Charles bigger than Max? Because that's what I see.
I'm not gonna lie, they look like the exact same height.
Maybe it's just hair, right?
I think the blonde sticks out to you more than the black. I think they're incredibly
Max
close
definitely ain't taller, though.
No, they're looking pretty much eye to eye.
I see Max is taller. So does Dan.
Yeah,
You see Max is taller.
Just
by
by a
a
hair.
smidge.
By a
By a
hair.
smidge. Look at those shorts. Shut up.
No, somebody, Dan, draw a fucking line across that. I need to see a straight, flat line.
Guys, the posture's not right either, though.
Hey, bro, shout
We
out
see
to
the planet is curved.
Okay, tell me
really
what you're
shout
seeing,
out
Andy.
to the posture on Charles.
You're seeing Max slumping a little bit, Andy?
Yeah.
Max
For sure.
is built like me a little bit of like maybe in the later years we're gonna get that hunchback going. Like,
Charles is straight up and down.
Charles
is.
If we're drawing the green lines, yeah, Charles.
Oh,
is
the
straight up and down.
leaning. So Charles is like very alpha, is what
Speaking
you're
of
saying.
leaning, Max a little bit slanted.
He is. You know what? Andy pointed it out.
Respect.
The posture plus you're pointing out the tilt. Maybe Max is a little
bit of
taller.
tilt
but
there on
he's
Max.
just- yeah, he's like doing the Michael Jackson
yeah.
Thriller.
Yeah.
No, not Thriller. What's the video where he danced?
Smooth Criminal.
I don't know. I'm not a big
yes,
Jackson
yes,
guy.
that's the one.
I'm not a big
He's leaning over like that.
Then we got another angle of this because they have to keep doing it over and over.
Oh,
We're also
another
gonna see
angle.
The press conference, they're going to face off. The ceremonial weigh-ins, they're going to face off. Before the fight starts, they're going to face off. Here's this alternate angle that we got. Max had some comments to say. One more time. Charles is like, what do you think?
One more time.
Oh, this is
Shout out.
I love
Max.
the zoom in on Charles, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what he just said. The smoke, the lit up platform, the flashing lights.
There's a lot going on.
We need a delivery here where it's just like roving camera around them, like it's dark, like it looks like super sick.
So what I thought we were getting was, you know the glam cam that they have on the red carpet where it's like they're doing the slow-mo and they spin around
Sure,
or
that's
they
what I'm
do a
saying.
motion. I thought when we first saw these that we were getting something like that there was going to be some kind of like real integration here and it's going to be like, oh, I've never seen something like this before. But then when they show it on the broadcast, it's literally
like
just that.
Yeah. I'm hoping they figure that out and we really get something cool from it. Max was asked about it at the press conference and he had some comments to say about the repetitive face-offs.
We got to do all that face-off, that Paramount face-off with each other now, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why. I'm going to be facing off with this guy for like 3-4 times before the actual fight now.
I actually think it is 4 times because he had to do it then. He had to do it at the announcement press conference. They did it, I believe, in December. He's going to have to do it at the press conference tonight, and then he'll have to do it at the ceremonial weigh-in tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Charles? Good to see you again, man. And then they're going to face off again in the cage.
I hope in the press conference face-off, when we get the Dana White Instagram post, the Elliot over-the-shoulder video of them facing off, I hope he says again, this isn't awkward. I hope he just keeps saying that.
What's
every
up,
time.
Charles?
What's up,
man?
Charles?
Good to see you again. Shout out to Max Holloway wearing like the 90s like hype-up tee style shirt, but for his wife.
Yeah, love that. The album.
Yeah, like the album tee. That's so popular.
I called it the Glam Cam. It's the Glam Bot.
Glambot. Shout out to the Glambot. Shout out to the Glambot. Shout out to Charles Oliveira. Shout out to Max Holloway. Let's keep rolling on this card. Co-main event, Caio Borralho. Wow, man. It's not like, come on. Caio Borralho taking on Rainier de Ridder. RDR making his return since the Brendan Allen fight in Vancouver last October. That he looked great round 1. He looked like a world beater. It was like, man, this RDR train is rolling. We're going to go 4-0 in 2025. This is crazy. Fell off a cliff. Completely gasses out. Has come out now saying that he had severe anemia. His body had just been essentially worked to shit, overtrained, extremely low blood cell count, red blood cell count, and was just not in a good way. So trying to bounce back. Pictures are proven. He's been in the gym, man. He's looking absolutely yoked this week. Borralho on the other side lost to Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Paris last year, trying to bounce back. Fascinating fight, man. Caio Borralho, a pretty big favorite, like a -280 or something like that. I'm not ready to give up on RDR just yet, man. We saw with Alex Pereira last year. He was like, man, something wasn't right in that first fight. I'm telling you, I'm coming in 100% for this next one against Ankalaev. Ends up knocking him out. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but RDR looked fantastic in that Whitaker fight. I know he got hurt at one point. Looked like a world beater against Bo Nickel. I think he is game to make this a competitive fight against Borralho.
I don't think his last fight was indicative of how good he really has become, right? I think he's become really good. I slept on him when he first entered the UFC. I had seen him in one, obviously.
Well, the Malkin fights in one were tough.
Yeah, and had respect for his skill set, but I didn't think his striking game would come along in the way that it has to this point. And I have a lot of respect for his skill set. I think he is good. I think he will make it competitive, but stylistically, I really like Caio here. Like in the striking performance that Caio had against Cannonier and others, like his striking has come a long, long way. Game plan wise, like the Imavov fight felt like he just didn't show up, if I'm being completely honest. I expected that to be more competitive, and he just did not look like he had answers for Imavov, who's a very slick striker. Don't get me wrong. Like Imavov is cream of the crop when it comes to that. But I thought his striking was better, and I thought he was going to be more competitive on the feet with Imavov, and he just was not. I think he will look good on the feet against Rainier. And in the grappling world, I don't think he's going to be super threatened by De Ridder. De Ridder is very slick and a great grappler, but Caio is a very, very good grappler when he needs to be. I think he's just going to be better at range. I think he's going to be a little bit better in the clinch. And if it gets to the grappling realm, I don't think he's going to be in massive danger. And so I favor Caio to just have like a workman-like high volume. That was the problem against Imavov, in my opinion. His volume was just way too low. I don't know what he was waiting on, but it just never came. I think he will get back to being much more high volume, and I think he'll be able to put some real pressure on Rainier, and I think he'll win.
So to your point, like Bajalio has come a long way in the striking. Early on in his UFC career, we saw him doing a lot of wrestling and
almost exclusively.
Yeah, not really getting the submissions and racking up a lot of control time. We haven't seen him go complete a takedown since the Michael Oleksiejczuk fight in like almost 3 years ago. I'm siding with the dog in this one.
Okay.
I'm siding with RDR in this one. I'm going to pick him for the uncrowned picks. I'm not ready to be done with him yet. You mentioned the grappling. I think he's equipped here as well. But like I don't mind him in the striking. I think he's an agent of chaos. He makes fights crazy. I think we're going to see him come in much better shape this time. He obviously has toughness as well. I think it's going to be a much closer fight than the odds are indicating. So I'm going to side with the dog.
How does he get it done? What's the path?
The mixing of the martial arts. I think he's going to be able to use some of his grappling, but also be competitive on the feet as well. And I mean, he's a guy that is live for finishes. Like Rainier Ridder has nasty submissions. We saw the knees against Bo Nickel. Like he just has that. You know, a lot of people were comparing him to DDP. That unorthodox style of fighting, and it's sort of just chaos, and you sort of just live with the chaos. It looked like Brendan Allen was about to get drowned with the same thing in round one, and then just RDR was just gone after that. So in a fight that I think is going to be close, I think is going to be competitive. And also I think the 3 rounds benefits RDR to be able to just redline it the whole time and not have to try and survive those 5 rounds. So we have seen him do it before against Robert Whittaker back in Abu Dhabi in July. I'm going to side with the dog here in a close fight.
Any concerns about the way he lost the last fight and then coming back? I feel like he's had a good amount of time off, right? That breakneck pace that he was fighting last year, I'm not surprised he got ill. Like, you can't do that to your body.
Why why do we always mention Merab fighting 4 times? That's why he looked the way he did against Petr Yan, but not do the same for Rainier De Ridder.
I very much think that was the contributing factor to that fight. Now, does he win that fight anyway?
Who's to check?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that answer. I think Brendan is pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, he's nasty.
Very well rounded. Another tough. Like there's a lot of tough style matchups, but I think he would have looked a lot better. I think he wouldn't have probably been quitting on the stool or I think it was like a corner stoppage. The coaches do it. He clearly had nothing left, and that was the right move. I don't think it goes that exact same way if he isn't fighting with the frequency that he had. So I think he's had enough time off. I don't make too much of that fight. It was by far the worst performance of that year and since going into the UFC. But I'm very much thinking of along the same lines as Merab, which is he fought one too many times that year. Yep. And that's fine. He took a big chance and a big opportunity. And now he's in another big spot against Caio where one of these guys is going to be still very highly ranked.
For sure. They are going to be second in line essentially for the middleweight title. Like they're going to be right behind that Strickland and Imavov tier of it. Like they'll be 1 win away, whoever wins this fight. So yeah, massive implications in the middleweight division for that fight. I think it has the potential to be fun. I don't know if it will be.
If it's going to be fun, it's all on Rainier's side, right? Yeah. Like Caio's best fight is going to not be fun. Kyo's best fight is going to be methodical, orthodox, keeping him at range, clinching, grappling if needed, but basically just trying to pick him apart on the feet in a much more technical way.
Let's roll along to the featured bout of the evening. Rob Font taking on Raul Rosas Jr., a fight that has been scheduled a couple times, but we are finally going to get it on Saturday. I have to say, I love Rob Font. Friend of the program. Was once a member of the Bald Beard Nation.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah, grew his hair back out, man. What's that about, Rob? Didn't like the bald look? Too many people hating on you? What's the deal, man? You left your brothers behind in the dust, man. It hurts. It hurts to see. I love Rob Font, though. A vet, class, always comes to fight. With that said, stylistically, I do not love this matchup for him. Raul Rosas is going to try to get this to the ground. We know that. If he stays standing and he just boxes with Rob Font, he's in for a long night. I think everyone acknowledged that going into this fight. The Gene Masamoto fight recently does not make me feel good. Got taken down 7 times on 10 attempts, was controlled for a decent amount of that fight. Now, granted, he won by split decision because of the damage he was able to do on the feet. 43% takedown defense. Raul Rosas looks to get takedowns early and often, and even if he's not getting submissions, works for control time, and that's how he wins these fights. I imagine that he'll be able to have success with that game plan just based on Rob Font's history with takedown defense. So I side with Raul Rosas, but I'm hoping that the takedowns don't come and Rob Font's able to box him up.
I see it similarly. 21 years old versus 38 years old.
Yeah, man.
That is
17 years, dude.
That is not in your favor if you're Rob Font. And it is very clear that Rob Font his best days are behind him. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Rob Font is still that guy who can as an underdog spring an upset, be live, be game. It feels like the chances to do that though become less and less as you creep up there. He's nearing 40. Raul Rosas is not even close to entering his prime. He's about to start entering his prime. He's about to start getting the best he's ever been. It's too big a gap to overcome, and so I think Rosas is just going to handle him.
I'd actually say Rosas is like 5 or 6 years away from entering.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we're looking at the best version of him, which is scary to think about as a 21-year-old, and especially as good as he is, right?
He wins this, he goes into the top 10. He takes the David Martinez path.
Exactly, and I think he will. I think he's going to beat Rob Font.
Let's keep rolling along on the main card. Drew Dober taking on Michael Johnson. Talk about a fun fight, man. Michael Johnson, now the winner of 3 straight. He was scheduled to fight Anthony Hernandez earlier this year. Some wonky shit happened. The fight got pulled. There was big odds movement. Who's to check? Anthony Hernandez still doesn't have a fight book. Michael Johnson.
Alex Hernandez.
Alex Hernandez. Yes, I'm sorry. Constantly confusing those. Alex the Great Hernandez. Does he still go by the Great?
No, it was, what did he change it to? El Gran Chango?
El Chango Grande?
Yeah, something like that.
Big Gorilla or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something.
What's it called? Team No Thank You?
Team No Thank You.
We're talking about Hernandez too much in a fight that he's not fighting in. Michael Johnson, winner of 3 straight, has kind of had a bit of a renaissance here late in his career, was able to get a huge win over Daniel Zellhuber last time out. Zellhuber was like minus 850 going into this fight. Going up against Drew Dober. Has fallen on hard times in his career, 1-3 in his last 4. I love this fight. 2 guys that are going to come in here and throw, 2 guys that have KO power, 2 guys that we have seen get finished before, and I think that's what happens here. I think someone is going to get served up.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I first looked at this line, I was a little bit surprised that Dober was the underdog.
Me too.
Granted, as you said, the skid is different, right? Michael Johnson is on a 3-fight win streak.
3-fight win streak.
3-fight win streak. And Drew Dober's 1-3 in his last 4. But the 3 are Renato Moicano, John Silva, and Manuel Torres. And now that we've seen more of Manuel Torres, like, that ain't some loss that you're just like, oh, he lost to Manuel Torres. No, Manuel Torres is an absolute savage, a tornado, like a fucking force of nature coming at you.
I fear for Beneil.
Yeah. So 100%. And so getting finished by that guy, to me, now has aged better. To get back in the win column and finish Kylo Prepolek, which... the drop off there between the guys that I just mentioned and him is big, but it tells me that Drew Dober is not completely shot. And so Michael Johnson, who, yes, is on a 3-fight winning streak now, but has been on 4-fight skid in his career, 3-fight skid in his career, and is somebody who I think, has flaws in his game, right? Michael Johnson is great, but Michael Johnson is not a complete fighter, not a perfect fighter. I just feel like the chin of Dober and the power of Dober, I trust more than I do a Michael Johnson. And so I was surprised to see him as a dog here, despite the skid that he's been on. As we said, he won his last fight, but he had 3 losses. I favor Dober here. I think the chin is going to hold up, and I think the power is going to be there, and I think he's more live to finish Johnson than Johnson is to finish him.
I'm 100% with you. The Crimson Chin is back, gets the finish. That's what I'm calling for. And maybe that's just me being pessimistic because I've seen so many fights where Michael Johnson is looking great until he isn't. But yeah, we'll see come Saturday. I think that's a really fun fight in the second fight on the main card. The first fight on the main card is a rematch. We're getting bookend rematches on the main card. Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop taking on Bruno Ferreira. A rematch from 2023. UFC 283. Ferreira is making his debut, comes in as a massive dog, starches out RoboCop, and is welcome to the UFC. He himself is also on a 3-fight win streak with a big win over Marvin Vettori last time out. Yeah, I mean, this is another fight where I feel very similar to the last one. I think it's 2 dudes who are going to come in here and throw. It happened in the last one and ended in the first round. I think this one likely ends inside the distance as well. And they just bomb on each other until someone gets finished.
Yeah, I see it the same. I mean, there's no way it goes other than that. And I favor RoboCop in those types of fights. Like most guys he's in there with, we have seen him take some absolute beatings before finishing people. He is very, very tough. And he just has this like supernatural power. Like when he hits people, it's crazy to think that he was like a jiu-jitsu guy, but he is nasty with it. Massive power, good chin. I feel like him the same way I feel about Dober, which is like he beats most guys in these types of fights. Like this is a style where he wins most of these. And so I like him in it.
Now, does them having already fought in Bruno Ferreira winning not concern you at all?
No.
Too long ago?
Too long ago. RoboCop has like become a much better fighter. Look, the Cannonier loss, I was like, damn, finally somebody did it. Then he got right back on track, and he's like standing and banging with Roman Kopylov, like
ethered Jack Hermanson at International Fight Week last year.
Killed him. These are the fights that RoboCop wins. So no, I don't feel like that is indicative of what I expect to happen this time.
It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be another fun one. Let's go to the featured prelim of the evening. Cody Garbrandt, no love, is back against Long Zhao. How do we feel about this, man? Cody Garbrandt,
I don't know.
It's been 10 years since the title now.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
We're losing on prelims to Helwani Barcelos. Was that on the prelims? Was that UFC Atlanta last year?
I don't know where it was.
I think I was there for that one. Yeah.
Who's to check?
Yep. No, it was on the main card. Sorry for the disrespect, but that was on UFC Atlanta. I remember watching that. Yeah.
Look.
Long Zhao, man.
This is going to be the best person he's ever faced. No doubt, right?
Speaking Long Zhao, obviously.
Yeah, no, definitely not Cody Garbrandt. This is not going to be the best person he's ever faced.
Crazy up the hair. I got a take for you. Best fighter Cody Garbrandt has ever faced, Long Zhao.
No, this is going to be by far, like not even, like it's like going from, kindergarten to college, by far the best opponent he's ever faced. But this comes down to the same thing that every Cody Garbrandt fight comes down to. Is Cody Garbrandt good anymore or not? Yeah. Like we don't really know the answer to that question at this point in his career. At his best, Cody Garbrandt is a smooth boxer, a fucking powerful puncher, and a guy who can really like cause problems for most people. At his worst, he's just a guy who can't hang and gets finished.
When he won that belt, he was 11-0.
Yeah.
That win pushed him to 11-0. He's now 14-7.
Okay.
It's just been a tough skid.
The only thing is you have to be fair to the level of opposition, right?
Of course.
2 losses to TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw was unstoppable at that point in time. Pedro Munoz, at that point in time, very good. We're talking all the way back in 2019 now, right? Like it's not the current version of Pedro Munoz. Rob Font in 2021, when he was Rob Font. KKF in 2021, when he was on the verge of getting into title contention. Davison Figueiredo, who was on a huge winning streak at that time. And Helwani Barcelos. Now, this is where I'm like, man, that loss to Helwani Barcelos, like that now tells me we're getting further and further away from where I think Cody Garbrandt is like game.
I do just have to take a brief aside here and just sometimes I just casually check in on the chat every once in a while.
What'd you see?
They're just getting into it. A lot of people pointing to your hair, really getting long out there. It's just long locks, man. It's just getting big.
Okay.
Someone said, is that Marv getting electrocuted? Another person said, I don't know how GC doesn't get captivated during the show and loses train of thought. Another person, DJ Serenity now says, I bet that studio smells like hoagies and farts.
Okay.
It's tough.
This is my game plan. We've got a trip to Seattle coming up. Who knows, what's going on in Seattle?
Who the fuck is we?
I do. Muckleshoot is happening in Seattle.
We're going to the Muck. All right. That's coming up the final week of March? Yeah, the final week of March heading into April.
Yep.
Then we have a vacation planned after that.
Uh-huh.
I have been... Normally, this would be around the time where I'm getting a haircut and beard.
Oh, you're just letting it rip.
I'm going to be waiting until right before, since we're going into 3 weeks of travel.
Okay, and then you're cleaning it up.
And so, yes, this will be I am holding out on this growing and this growing until the Friday before, Saturday or something, before we leave for Seattle. So it's going to be a bit. This hair is only going to get longer. And this beard, and I know people are always very bothered by the...
Oh, you got to clean it up, man.
No,
you got to clean it up.
Not touching it. Not touching it.
Your wife doesn't say anything?
2.5 more weeks. 2.5 more weeks.
Come on, bro.
That's a bullshit.
No, that is a bullshit, man. Just clean it up. It takes 2
No.
seconds. Just take a quick
No,
razor
no.
to it. You should be able to see all your pearly whites.
No.
Every
How do
single
you-
tooth in there.
Not get bothered by feeling it on your bottom lip when you eat or what? Oh,
That's what I'm
ugh.
I don't think about it. Don't care.
Hey, man.
Don't care.
Let it breathe, baby.
Why? Do people like the hair or not like the hair?
I'm sure it's 50-50. I like it. I'm pro hair.
Another person points out this is the first time Rick is hearing the name Long Zhao in his career.
Yeah, for sure. Actually.
Yeah, people also saying in the chat, trimming the lip hair is key.
No, not happening.
All right, let's keep rolling along. Let's hit the rest of this card. Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage is back. He's back. He just fought on UFC 325. We're throwing him on UFC 326. The reign continues.
Reign? Reign of what?
5-7-1-1.
What reign?
Reigning. 0-1 on Contender Series. 5-7-1-1 in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know much about Dante Johnson. I can't lie.
Undefeated.
Other than that, he's undefeated. I am a known Cody Brundage fader.
Yep.
I am known for it.
I believe he's 7-0 with 7 wins by finish. Yes, that is correct. I imagine he's going to pick up another one here.
Yeah. I'm on Dante.
Alberto Morales taking on Ricky Tercios. There could be a couple people serve their walking papers after this one.
What was last week's card? I feel like we were saying the same thing. The Mexico City had a lot of like, boy, you need a win here, huh?
Yeah. I have seen people... Speaking of Alberto Montes, I should have had the pictures ready. I fucked this up. Alberto Montes is Ili Taptoro. He looks kind of like a variant of Ilya.
Okay. He's a palette swap.
And then Gaston Bolanos is Ilya Apturo. Like the two ways that Conor McGregor said it wrong, they both look like variants of Ilya Taporia. I think that was Tony Has Died on IG that posted that. I can't remember. But yeah, shout out.
Okay, that's very funny.
That would have me fucking dying.
Alberto Venezuelan and who was the other one?
Gaston Bolanos is Peruvian.
Yeah, so neither Spanish, but that's very funny.
Yeah, but technically both do speak Spanish. Yeah, I'm taking Montes against Tercios, so I can't pick Tercios with any sort of confidence.
Yeah, Ricky Tercios had a lot of promise. I just don't feel like he has lived up to it or will. Like it probably is just the wrong fit. I think Montes will win.
Cody Durden taking on my guy and yours, the Art of the Knockout, Niam Jargle, Tumen Dembero. Look at that name on the lower third. It almost takes up the entire lower third.
Yeah, props to you.
I don't have much to say about this other than this picture of Niam Jargle, Tumen Dembero. Look at this. Mongolian
That goes
madness
so
in the
hard.
house.
Fucking hell.
Shout out to Hey Jive Picks on Twitter who posted that. I mean, it just goes hard.
How could you pick against this?
The Western Asian countries, like the Caucasus sort of regions, like the Kazakhstan, The aura farming in the pictures, like
Crazy.
Damir Ismagulov used to have this picture where like he had the falcon on his arm and
Yep.
he's just like fitted out top to bottom. Yeah.
Well, there's just something about like them in the cold weather attire.
Yeah.
Just like fitted top to bottom.
Oh yeah, bro.
With the hats, they just look hard.
I have
They look like
still
hard-
have the Shavkat, the authentic
Yeah.
Shavkat hat from Kazakhstan, and when I wear that bad boy out,
People are like,
double
whoa.
take.
Yeah.
People double take. I'm not fucking with that guy.
Maybe I'll wear that to hide my hair while we wait these 2
Yeah,
weeks.
no, that's a good call. You'll be warm because it keeps you incredibly warm. So yeah, the pick is
Same.
is Naim Jargal Tumen Dimbero. That is for sure. And yeah, it's gonna be great. Suma Darji taking on Jesus Aguilera. Rafael Tobias taking on Dr. Nergozaye.
I mean, don't just blow so quickly by Sumer Darji. You know, Jordan Kamzan, #1 Sumer Darji lover. Shout out to Jordan.
Don't forget, he's actually the #1 Rong Zhu lover. He is the #2 Suma Darji lover.
Who's #1? You?
Listen. I enjoy a Suma Darji fight. Suma Darji versus Matt Schnell, UFC Long Island,
Legendary fight.
2022. One of the best fights I've ever seen in person. Had the place on its head. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, dude, shout out to Suma Darji. Shout out to Jordan. Rafael Tobias versus Dr. Nergozaye. Gaston Bolanos, Juliana Pena's favorite fighter, taking on Zhang Yang Li. And then Adolfo Bellato is back against Petey's boy, Luke Fernandez.
Is it, what was it? Oh, his last fight is, okay, yes. I was about to say, was it that weird
Wasn't it?
Paul Craig fight? No, it was, he lost to Navajo Sterling.
Oh, yeah. I was in attendance. It's kind of cyclical. The guys that fight on certain cards, Cody Garbrandt was on UFC Atlanta, so was Bellato, the like, whoa,
Yeah.
waking up. type
Waking
thing.
up with the acting performance.
Yeah, shout out. So that's UFC 326. Love the main event. Like the main card. Not the deepest
You like the
card.
main card?
I like the main card. There's a couple fun fights on there. 327 is much, much deeper. I cannot wait for 327. It's going to be incredible. That is not the only fighting going down this weekend. I am actually going to sit down on my couch and watch Zuffa Boxing for the first time. ZO4 card.
Same.
The first Zuffa Boxing belt fight. Jaya Pataya taking on Brandon Glanton. I don't have a ton to say on this other than look at the Zuffa Boxing belt. Look at that. Matte black textured metal, chrome Zuffa logo, 70 plus carats of diamonds in that bad boy. It's got to be worth something. Leather strap, black peppered leather, right side plate, victories represented by black diamonds as the title is defended. Ali plate, gunmetal encapsulation. Left side plate includes weight class, name, and country flag. Strap detail, the boss Z on that leather strap. So yeah, Zuffa Boxing Championship title on the line. Back plate engraved Dana White's signature with win date and location. Yeah, there it is. The most sought after belt in all of boxing.
Maybe.
Fucking hell.
Not actually though. I do have like a take.
Tell me.
It's not really a take. It's actually just kind of an observation. Most people in this office care much more about boxing than they do MMA. Several people come up and
Meaning
discuss
outside of our immediate-
our team. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have said Yahoo as a whole. When I'm sitting in the office, sitting at my desk, and I'm doing work, and people stop and talk, it's
Mostly
almost
boxing.
always about boxing rather than MMA. My doorman, diehard boxing fan. I'm talking like these guys are real boxing fans. Like they watch most of these cards. They're watching Matchroom cards. When a fight gets announced, they're like, oh, did you see the fight announcement? Oh, that's crazy. Like, what could this mean? And blah, blah, blah.
They just today learned who Tom Aspinall is, for sure.
Exactly. They're not MMA fans. They are boxing fans. They actually kind of like talk to me about boxing, and I bring up something MMA, and like they kind of just glaze over, and they're like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, you have no idea what the fuck
Ilya
I'm talking
Taporia?
about.
You
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
all good.
Ilya
It's all good. None of them are even remotely interested in Zuffa Boxing. I was like, oh, you going to watch Jaya Pataya on Zuffa Boxing this weekend? They were like, no. I didn't even know that was happening. They were like, is that the one where they're not fighting in front of anyone? And I know this is an incredibly small sample size.
Oh, they knew that at
this is
least.
fucking 3 people. But yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, like what is it? What are they even going to be able to do anything? I was like, well, the Conor Ben signing. They're like, yeah, I guess they're not enamored by the 15 million. But from what I've seen,
that's boxing.
Yeah, from what I've seen, from the small amount of boxing fans in my life, none of them seem to give a fuck about Zuffa Boxing to this point.
In fairness to Zuffa Boxing,
they're new,
brand new.
Yeah,
this is not. What they need is a fight like this, like a Jaya Pataya, who
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Horror music. Who is that in the middle, by the way?
I don't know who that woman is.
Shout out. Sick face off. She's getting completely shadowed out by Jaya Pataya.
Both of them.
We can't see her, yeah. Don't know who that was in the middle. She did have the Zuffa Boxing belt, though. Jaya Pataya with the ring belt. Yeah.
I know that was not supposed to have sound, so it, like,
it's okay.
Threw me off.
Yeah, they had some like sort of horror music. That's all right.
It's all right, guys.
It's all good.
There was sound on that, and it just like took me out of it.
No need.
This is what they need. They need a fighter like Jaya Pataya who will get presumably a big knockout, have an exciting fight, and then they can go, okay, this is what you can expect from Zuffa Boxing to become the business card. And then the next time, or, you know, your doorman, you know, somebody we run into this cafeteria area, sees that knockout, sees that it's a Zuffa Boxing card. Now maybe they go, okay, I'm going to tune in for that next one. So I don't think it's, you know, Dana White in all the interviews has been like, don't judge me until it's a year. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not trying to kick the can down the road. But this was the first event that I thought anybody should even try to care about. Like the other ones before this, I don't think anybody should have even given a shit. This is the first one where I'm like, okay, you have a guy who you could say is one of the best in his weight class in the entire world. Now he's fighting for you. Let's see what happens from here. Maybe this will change and your doorman will be like, oh, I saw that knockout. I might tune in now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I will be tuned into this one, though. This will be the first Zuffa Boxing that I'm not just catching the highlights.
Looking for highlights on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably tune in around a co-main event and see what's going on. It's, yeah, we'll see. Dana White was on with Cameron and, you know, is talking about how this, you know, whole Zuffa Boxing thing is made up. You know, references Eddie Hearn, references Shake Turkey. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Got you. Is there any other boxing promoters that you would work with?
Yeah, I'm not saying that I wouldn't work with anybody. I think at some level, I mean, everybody's working with, you know, right now, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, Eddie came out and said, Shake Turkey's my daddy, right? And all this stuff. Shake Turkey controls the entire sport of boxing right now.
Right.
Eddie Hearn is doing business with Shake Turkey.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is.
Right.
So
listen, not even to cut you off. This fight that just happened, you know, I do business with PBC. So they had to fight, and Turkey took the fight.
Yeah.
The Ryan fight. So
Right.
he's definitely putting his imprint on the sport. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Boxing does not exist at this level right now without Shake Turkey and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Right.
This is a fact.
Right.
You can act like, you know, like you're the guy and you don't need, all these guys
Right.
are existing right now because of Shake Turkey.
Right.
Fact. I am involved with Shake Turkey. This fight right here, this was our first fight that we did. We broke every record at the arena. We broke the arena stadium records.
Right.
We broke, we were number 3 biggest gate all time.
Wow.
You know, but this fight here happened because of Shake Turkey.
Right.
Canelo Crawford doesn't happen without Shake Turkey.
Got you.
Have I made it clear that Shake Turkey
is right?
How many times did he say Shake Turkey in that video?
Too many, because of the fact that he's not Shake Turkey. There's no Shake Turkey. Turkey, I'll shake.
Yeah, yeah. Why is he the only one that calls him Shake Turkey? And I guess it's cool because Turkey doesn't
So
tell
Turkey
him
doesn't
otherwise.
say anything. It's just like,
It's a
yeah,
great
Shake
point.
Turkey.
Do you think in person when he's speaking directly to Turkey, he just calls him Shake for short?
I don't know. I hope not.
What's up, Shake? How we doing, brother?
It's also reminiscent of when Max Kellerman was talking about like how none of us would exist, you know, without
That's always my favorite thing. Your heart would not be beating in your chest if it was not for Shake Turkey and Dana White.
No, he didn't call him Shake Turkey.
Max doesn't call him Shake Turkey as well? Speaking of Shake Turkey, he tweeted this. Well, The Ring tweeted this. While speaking to The Ring, Turkey Al-Sheikh said, so essentially him just texting The Ring admin, Eddie Hearn, come and put your head on the chest of your father. I will give you a warm hug. The world is filled with evil people. So Eddie Hearn, obviously last week, said that Turkey Al-Sheikh is Dana White's pappy, however he said it.
That's exactly what he said.
And now
he's his pappy.
Turkey Al-Sheikh making reference to that and saying, come and put your head on the chest of your
These
father.
boxing wars
I'll
are
give
getting
you a warm
fun, huh?
hug. Yeah.
Fuck.
And like them posting a picture of them like being boys together. I mean, it's getting spicy, man. Like it's getting spicy in the streets. I don't know what to make of it. TKO obviously teamed up with Sella and Turkey Al-Sheikh. Eddie Hearn signing Tom Aspinall. Who knows what's going to happen from here, man.
I just love it. And I love Turkey firing back, you know, letting Eddie Hearn know that he's his daddy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the day, we can talk about, the moves that Zuffa made, the moves that Eddie made. The power player is Turkey Al-Sheikh and Sella. They are the decision makers. They are the holders of the most money, the most power to make these fights happen. They are the power players.
And Dana White says as much in that clip with Cameron. Like, this all revolves around what Turkey and Saudi Arabia want to do. They're 60% owners in Zuffa Boxing. They're in partnership with all these promoters. Like, they are the power in this sport of boxing. And so, yes, that is exactly how it goes. And they're the ones controlling all of this.
You think we get a picture of Eddie Hearn with his chest leaned on
Turkey?
Turkey's chest?
Shake Turkey. I don't get it. Why is nobody... Now, forget like Turkey. You said like, does he say that to Turkey's face? Yep. Why has nobody in his orbit just been like, hey, Dana, by the way, it's not Shake Turkey. Like,
you don't need to call him Shake
Turkey.
We do have to clarify. He's not saying like SHAKE.
Yeah.
Shake Turkey. He's referring to like Sheik, like SHIE.
But even that's one incorrect, and two, again, how has nobody been Dana? By the way, like that's not
Shake Turkey. Shout out.
Call him His Excellency.
Yeah, His Excellency, or just Turkey. I feel like Turkey just works.
I'm sure that's what Dana does call him, and that's why he's probably never been corrected. Shake Turkey.
Shake Turkey.
Do you think he calls him Shake and Turkey just thinks it's a nickname? He doesn't pick up on the fact that he's calling him that?
I don't know.
Instead of Jake, it's Shake.
Shake.
But yes,
I'd love to see how he texts it.
I wonder if he does.
Just got off the phone with
Beating
Shake.
up babies.
I don't know.
Anyway, I like that. I like that. This is all heating up. It's getting fun.
Heating up, a lot of drama. ZO4 this weekend. Paramount Plus starts at 6 o'clock. Is going to be interesting to see. Interesting to see my first Zuffa card. UFC 326 also on Paramount Plus. Let's do the bets and Parlay Pals.
Love it
this weekend.
Parlay Pals.
Oh, that fucking animation, sick. Do we have the recap from last week? I can't quite remember what happened here.
I can't either.
I know I'm making my picks and they're winning pretty much every week, and I'm just.
I am too. Oh, wait a minute.
Inside the distance was never even down. Brandon Moreno taken to school. Santiago Luna inside the distance. Okay. All right, we're back in the red. Minus 2.27.
Why did we come back to me? Wow, my hair. I didn't even realize my hair is looking kind of like frizzy.
What's up, Marv?
Marv from Home Alone.
Hairline looks great though. I mean, as a man with no hairline, that hairline looks fantastic. We already got Pete's pick. He's taking the curtain jerker. He's taking Luke Fernandez. He's trying to just get it out of the way early. Or we're going to be dead upon arrival.
He's trying to let us down gently.
Yeah, he lets us down a lot, I'm going to be honest. We love you, Pete, but man, you constantly let us down. Frankie, what's your pick, brother?
I'm going with Kyle.
Okay, all right. I don't like it, but I trust you.
You don't have to like it.
I trust you, Frankie. Me and you are greened out every week. We're greened out every week. I'm just going to say. Ricky, what do you got, brother?
I'm going with RoboCop. I was about to call him Greg Cop because I believe Jose Young's an MMA fighting calling that, but yes, RoboCop.
Young man? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the main event. Does not go the distance. I think it's around like minus 205. Charles Oliveira, 41-47, have not gone the distance. Constantly hitting unders. I think Max Holloway is live for a KO TKO throughout the entire fight, especially late. And then Charles Oliveira is live for a finish at any moment in the fight. Charles gets hurt in fights. Max Holloway is not a stranger to hurting people. I think we see some chaos in this one, and I don't think it goes all 25 minutes. There it is. Quick on the draw. Shout out to the graphics bar. Minus 235, okay. Plus 313, it gets us back in the green. But boy, do we need to see one go through the hoop.
We need it.
All right, my picks for the weekend will be brief. We'll be quick. Got a couple singles and a parlay. First up, Max Holloway, minus 210. I like this pick. I think he keeps it standing and he's able to style pretty well in the striking exchange. I think Charles Oliveira will have his moments, but ultimately decision or a finish. I think Max Holloway is the one getting his hand raised. We roll along. I like you. Saw that line and I was like, I don't think Drew Dober's cooked like that yet. I think he's a very live dog here. I know he's been finished a couple times, but the level of competition was incredibly high. I think the chin holds up, and I think he's the one finishing Michael Johnson. So Drew Dober on the money line, and then a parlay, a little violence parlay. The one I picked for the Parlay Pals, and RoboCop Bruno, not to go the distance, -125. Had one bet last week, hit it, cashed it. Keeping it light this week with just 3. I kind of like the light structure of it. Those are the bets. Those are the picks. For UFC 326, let's go to our pound-for-pound rankings. In honor of Max Holloway, the blessed ever, the daddest man on the planet. That's the key there. Pound for pound this week, daddest things. The cliches where you're just like, holy shit, dude, you're just being such a fucking dad right now. The classic dad things. Frankie, what's the order?
The order is Frank, Connor, and then Rick.
Love it. I'm excited for this one. I think the banter is going to be good. I think this is going to be good. I'm excited to hear y'all's lists. This is one of our better ones for a while.
You love this one. You've been talking about this.
This is almost a daddest thing.
I think
if you
the banter,
were a dad, I would easily.
The last one I was hot on was the Fluffy Hernandez inspired one. I like this one.
All right, well, I hope you still like it after my list, because my number 5 is the good old pocket inventory tab. So this is when dad's getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And he's got to tap each pocket to make sure that the associated items are exactly where he thought they should be. Cell phone, keys, wallet.
Big 3.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. They do the initial tap, they leave. You see the tap again a couple of times. Oh, did I forget something? It's like, well, I don't know.
It's that tap. It's that quick on the draw. It's the
Exactly. Always checking the same pockets.
Okay, but can I ask?
Just quick wipe down.
Have you not done that from a young age as well?
No, man. I think if you had, you've always been a dad.
I do it all the time, but I didn't start doing it until I moved to New York City. That's where I really started, because if you leave something on the subway, that shit's gone. You ain't never seeing that.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm leaving anything, I hit the quick pat down.
I think I've always been a dad then, because I've always been a tapper. I've always been like, I got it. All right, we're good.
I'm with
If you are Eric Jackman's illegitimate child, please get a hold of us.
Well, he also has 3 children, so.
And my number 4 are the dads that are a part of the thermostat patrol. I don't know what it is. I almost liken it to
sick shirt.
Engineers at a nuclear power plant that are just monitoring monitors all the time because their life depends on it. But if the thermostat got changed because somebody was uncomfortable for some reason, dad's got to come and point it out, make the adjustment, as if power cost swings wildly. I mean, I get it. You want to set the precedence and what the requirement is of the home, but it's just this is a little much.
I'm with you. My parents were the same way.
What's the number though?
Ain't paying to heat the whole house. My mom kept it at 68 in the winter and 78 in the summer.
What?
Man.
Yeah. It was
different
warm
climate though, right? Yeah.
I mean, it was very hot outside. It would be 98 outside, so you're getting 20 degrees taken off. But yeah, it was warm. And yeah, now that I'm older, it doesn't cost that much to run the AC and the heat.
Yeah. That's correct.
It could get sneaky sometimes.
73 is not the number that was on the picture that we were looking at. 73 is not a good number. I don't like that number.
Mm-hmm. Can play in winter and
70. 70's right.
70.
Yeah.
70. Nice.
Wait, what about you? Not 70?
During the winter?
Yeah.
68, 64
68,
at night.
70 is
there's but see, this is the thing. I'm also a dad. There's a fine tuning between 4 degrees.
Wait, so now you are the thermostat guard?
Yeah.
You're also a dad?
I used to hate it. Now it's
you've become what you hate.
I love it.
The Grill Commander is my number 3.
Oh, yeah.
This is
motherfuckers love a grill.
A mom or two ask everyone to leave the kitchen because they have to cook and they don't want anyone to be in their way. But the way that the barbecuing happens, and I think I accepted it as a child. I'm like, oh, dad's grilling, let him do his thing. Until I was old enough to start grilling myself. I'm like, there's nothing to this. You're just throwing the fucking meat on the hot thing. And why does it have to be such a ordeal? It's almost like the thermostat is now the cooking situation here. Everybody's got to know, dad's grilling. What do you want? How do you want it? Doesn't matter because he's going to make it the way that he feels is necessary anyway. And then I don't know if you guys ever saw this. A dad who sprays the thing with beer.
No.
Might be a Texas thing. I don't know.
I've not
sprays
seen that.
things with beer?
Instead of
take a
an
beer,
oil.
Shake it up out of the thumb, spray it. And I've seen it before. I'm like, what is this arcane thing? And
Food or people?
Food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people would be crazy.
No, I've seen like
are you
beer
talking
on
about on the
burgers.
grill?
And
Yeah, that's what I mean.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I've seen that. It doesn't make it taste better.
Exactly my point. It's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Which
Grill
leads
commander.
me to my number 2. I'm pretty guilty of this one as well.
Uh-oh.
But it's the history lesson in the car.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You're driving down the road, and it's like, you know what used to be over here? Or, you know, the route I used to have to take because this road wasn't there? Or, or my favorite, which is just the, the trek that I used to have to do to get to school or to my job or whatever. This is what I envision is going on in the head. The picture on the left and then the picture on the right.
What a picture.
My dad is obsessed with history. There's a great podcast called The Bowery Boys that just covers New York City history. He always sends me episodes. He sent me one about a place right by where I live. So I listened to it, and then I went and walked around that place with someone this past weekend, and the whole time
you did it to
I
them?
was dadding it up. I was like, hey, this is XYZ, and they actually did this because of that. And like, you just the whole time text my dad. I was like, yeah, it's a great episode. I loved it. Thanks for sending it. He's just like, there's just something about knowing about the history of a place you're in. And I was just like, you're such a fucking dad, dude.
But then did you acknowledge I have become the dad?
Like, I told him. I was just like, yep, I was dropping knowledge on the person I was with. It was great.
But the number 1 daddest thing.
Wait, Frank, you're guilty of this?
I am guilty.
Hell yeah.
Who is getting these lessons?
It's my wife. It's my kid. Like, whatever there's an opportunity. Even, old venues that I haven't even been to.
I was going to say, you clarified car, but you're giving history lessons and just random bullshit to me.
Like, you guys even picked up on it where you're like, oh, Frank's always laying down Texas trivia, right?
He does this to us, guys.
Yeah.
I know, but it was it was the in the car part. Like the travel was the part I was like,
I've seen that.
Frank doesn't really.
It also, like, I had a great grandfather actually. It was like, who put that curb there? Like,
Is that-
insinuating that he remembers a time where there was no curb, so the fact that he curb checked was
Wait.
fault.
I think that's a joke when you trip on the curb and you're like, oh, who put that curb there? Which is
He
also
literally
a dad
said
joke.
it, and
Dad joke.
he was one of the people where it's like, should people be able to keep their license forever? Like, should we maybe check in on them every now and then?
Oh, Jesus.
Was great grandfather the one that was grandpappy? Like who's grandpappy? Where did that start again?
There was
Remind me?
grandpappy. Was my great grandfather? Yeah. That's who I'm
okay,
named after.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I listen to you, Frank. I pay attention to you.
Isn't
I
that what we called you for a while?
matters.
Grandpappy Frank?
Yeah, because he said he got it from passed down.
Named after both my grandfathers, actually.
Shout out.
All right, here we go. Number 1, I'm excited.
Number 1 is leaving the door open.
Oh, interesting.
There is
minute.
there's a science to it. It kind of goes with thermostat, but it's even this is even more because the door will be open for just a split second, and it's like you've just insulted the dad's entire existence.
Oh, they are telling you to shut the door.
Telling you to shut the door.
Okay, I was thinking the exact opposite.
They say stupid things like, "Whoa, what do we have? We live in a barn."
Yeah.
Hence the photo of the barn door here.
Yeah, I ain't heating the whole neighborhood.
Exactly. Like, do you know what the price is for the air conditioner? As if having the door open for a few seconds is going to make the world of a difference.
They went bankrupt because you left the door open.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nah, respect. You do that all the time, Frank. You do that subtle door close, but it's like you're extremely offended when you do it.
No, what is this, a barn? Is the number 1 Frank line.
I do it for a different reason, though. It's really loud out there.
Yeah, for sure. You old man. Fucking old coot.
Granddaddy.
Yeah, granddaddy.
That was it, granddaddy.
Wow, that doesn't fly anymore, eh?
No, we're not. It was never granddaddy.
Our granddaddy.
No. You guys are
wait a minute. What do you mean it was never?
It's grandpappy.
There's
You can call me
receipts
Pappy.
on this shit.
It all comes out now. He's mysterious for a reason. Redacted from the files.
It's your turn.
We're literally beating up babies.
Wait a minute. That's not the drop. That's not the drop. Not on this show.
Without the sex.
Yeah, that's better. But still kind of bad. All right, go.
We saw the pictures. I wasn't the first one to blur you in pictures, Frankie. All right, here we go. My number 5. I had so much fun doing this because a lot of these are incredibly specific to my own dad.
Okay, love it.
So number 5, roaring, painfully loud sneezes. The dad sneeze is just like, it's a rare thing. Yeah, this meme. My wife sneezes, my kid sneezes when the dad sneezes. My dad was like a...
Wait, for the audio, one was a silenced gun for the wife, the
One was a
regular
normal
gun.
pistol. And then the last one was an atomic bomb. Like my dad, like it was so loud and just like, boo! It was like, all right, man, chill. Honestly, just bodily noises, period. Like the dad waking up on a Saturday morning after like he had a few beers the night before and it's just like, morning, takes like a gigantic piss. And it's like, all right, dude, chill out, man. Or like you stay in the hotel with them and like my dad is 6'6", big ass motherfucker. And like, dude, he snores. Like he has sleep apnea for sure that he just has never addressed. So we would get in the hotel room and I'm talking, he's just like snoring his ass off, sounding like a chainsaw. And like I would be laying there and it's like my whole family in the hotel room and I'd have to clap to like wake him up to get him to stop snoring so I could fall asleep. And I would just be like, and like he'd be like, choke on his shit. And like, bro, yeah, just bodily noises, period, coming from the dad. It's just real old man shit.
The dad sneeze.
It's so good. So good. Shout out to the dad sneezes. Number 4. You're sitting there watching TV. The dad walks in, stands there, and watches the TV for an elongated period of time, but never sits down. Puts the hands behind the back, crosses the arms, is standing there, and you're just like, yo, man, you can just sit down. She's like, no, I'm in the middle of something. I'm doing something. Yeah, this is elite right there. The hands behind the back, just checking in on the situation.
Looks like a weather report or some shit.
Yep. Gets way too close, doesn't sit down. Like, that is all-time dad thing. I'd be watching Falcons games growing up, like a sitcom, anything like that. He would come, stand, watch it for a second, 5-10 minutes. I'd be like, dude, you can just sit down, man. And he'd be like, no, I got to keep it moving. Got to keep pushing. I'm busy.
Is there like a what you're watching, or is it just standing and staring?
Just standing, staring. What is it? Okay. All right. Sometimes they would watch the entire episode standing there.
And then I'm busy. I'm busy.
I got to get out of here. All-time dad action there. Number 3, tucking in the shirt regardless of outfit. It does not matter. Like, I'm talking, if we're rocking jorts and we're going to dinner and we got a t-shirt on, we're tucking in the shirt. If we're going to work and we're wearing a button down, we're tucking in the shirt. My dad, if he's going out in the yard and working, he's tucking in the shirt. If he's going to exercise, he's tucking in the shirt. Like
pajamas,
they're getting my dad's shirt is constantly tucked in.
What is the tuck?
I think it's to appear like you're looking nice. My dad, it's so fucking funny. My dad wears a suit all day. And he's like, yep, last of a dying breed. I'm the only one. He works for a bank, has worked there for 40 years. He's like, I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm the only one that still goes into the office 5 days a week. And I'm the only one that wears a suit every single day. My dad goes into the office, sits there in a fucking suit, and he's the only one in the office on a Friday, just in his suit. He's just like, I've been doing this for 40 years, man. I'm almost 70. I ain't changing my ways. Just like sticks to it. Comes home out of his suit and changes into like a pair of khakis and a polo. And he's like, had to get comfortable. And I'm just like, how is that your comfortable shirt? Like, he's like appalled that like I'm wearing like cargo pants and a hoodie to work. My dad would be like, and sneakers. My dad would be like, what, you going to a fucking office?
You homeless? Yeah, homeless? What you wearing?
What the fuck are you wearing? Tucked in shirt constantly.
Love it.
Now, a playoff of that also, the tucked in shirt constantly leads to plumber's disease. My dad constantly showing his ass crack. I'm like, Dad, it got so bad.
But the tuck would prevent that, no?
Until he's bending over and doing so much shit.
And then the shirt comes up.
And then his ass is out.
Yeah.
It's just the plumber's disease on my dad was just fucking crazy. It's like, Dad, come on, man. So bad that we bought him a pair of suspenders.
Oh, wow.
And then that's ultimate dad. He'd throw on the suspenders to go work in the yard, jean shorts. The pants never fit the scenario with my dad.
Yeah.
Unless you need to be dressing nice. So yeah, shout out to Tucky.
Man of leisure.
Number 2, getting up early, shaming you for not getting up at the ass crack of dawn, speaking of plumber's disease, and then taking a nap at like 1 or 2 p.m. that day.
Yeah.
You get up at 9 o'clock. Oh, where you been? Well, what's been going on? I've already done this and that and the third. I've already run, had breakfast, worked out in the yard. And then you turn over at 1 o'clock. Yep. And then passed out, falling asleep. Oh, I just need like a quick
Just closing my eyes here.
Just need a quick 20 minutes. Yeah, just a quick 20-minute nap. Connor, you got to be quiet. Your dad's napping right now. It's just like, he's just shitting on me for getting up at 8:30 instead of 5:30.
Also, it sounds like a chainsaw's in the living room right now.
All right, Dad, chill. So yeah, shout out to the dad naps. And then number one, the ultimate test of how much of a dad you are.
Tell me.
Is the dad phone behavior. You send them long texts. There it is. Thumbs up. Okay. That's all you're getting back from them.
Describe this for the audio listeners.
For the audience, for the audio audience, this is a keyboard of all thumbs up, and then O and K are left on it. My dad constantly giving me the most dry text back to where he sounds like he's pissed off, despite me giving him good news. Yeah. Or you see the bubbles. You see the bubbles for fucking 15 minutes, and then all you get back is a thumbs up emoji. My dad constantly doing that. Not just the texting, but also if I miss a call from my dad, I have him saved in my phone number. One of the first phone numbers I ever have had it the entirety of my cell phone career. Miss a call from him. So I know it was him that was calling. He leaves a voicemail. So now I especially know that it was calling. One of the most familiar voices to me in my entire life is my father's.
Going.
Hey, Connor. It's Dad calling in. It's about 3:39 in the afternoon here. I can hear him checking his watch. He's like, it's Thursday the 5th. Just want to call and check in about XYZ, insert random topic there. If you can just give me a call back whenever, you know where to find me. 770-X123-846. It's like, Dad, dude.
Repeats the number. Again, 770.
I have the phone number. I know it was you from the jump. I know what time you called. All of this is provided to me. You do not need to give this to me, Dad. I got it, man.
No details about what to talk about. That would have actually been helpful. Only the details on how to return the call that you already knew.
My dad is also big on the, it's 15 after. 15 after when, bro? It's a quarter till. I'm just no one talks like that anymore, bro. Please.
Oh, that's great.
Please with it.
Great.
Shout out to my dad. Love you, brother.
Fantastic list. I'm surprised that we didn't have a lot of crossover. I feel like I went.
That's what I was hoping for. I wanted banter. I wanted the bullshit of what's specific to your dad.
Yeah, it's not. I almost went me now. Because I have to the point that Frank made when I was I'm a phone wallet keys guys. I've felt like a dad for maybe the last 20 years. So I started what I started with was identifying the things that made me sure that I was fully washed and in full dad mode.
It's the best.
Number 5. If you're a dad, this is a default state. This is where you live. This is where you operate. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. You're on that couch, you're watching that TV. There's things to do, but you're not going to get to them because you've now fallen asleep on that motherfucking couch. You're out. You're done. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You sit down on that couch and it's late enough, you're cooked. You're just done. That night might as well be wiped away. It doesn't matter what you had on the agenda. The couch sleep, but specifically the yeah, we're watching TV. I'm wide awake. You are not wide awake. It's over for you. As soon as your butt hit that couch, you're done. I found myself sleeping on the couch many a night. Holly comes, wakes up.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go up to bed? It's 1 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come up. Yeah. And then right back to sleep.
Do you spend full nights on the couch?
Many times.
Wow. It's funny that you mentioned this. I have started seeing this with my older brother who has 3 kids.
Yep.
I've started noticing at holidays and stuff, we're staying up, we're having a couple drinks, we're watching something fun, and then I just look over at one point and he's just
This is a sign.
Dead asleep.
It's a dad sign.
The funniest thing is, for my parents, it was the inverse. My mom was the passer-outer. My dad always stayed up. My mom, we would look over and she's just, they're cooked when the
drill and the spittle.
Not even the spittle. The mouth just becomes a bit of gape. And it's
okay.
It's Joe, the mouth is unhinged. They are fully relaxed. They're out.
Yeah. Many a nights have been slept on that couch. That's a key. All right. Number 4. Fanny pack, New Balances.
Oh, yeah.
Leather phone holster.
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling this dad fashion.
Yeah,
right?
I like that. Once
Once you roll into this.
Oh, yeah.
The cargo shorts.
Tucked in.
Polo, anytime, anywhere with shorts. Tuck that shit in.
High
We're looking
socks.
bad.
The key here is the mentality, and the mentality is function over fashion.
Yeah.
I care more that New Balances are the best sneakers. I care more that cargo shorts have a lot of pockets. I care more about having that thing on me so I can pull the phone out the leather case that's easily accessible. Function over fashion is dad.
Oh, for sure.
Mega dad.
For sure. My dad, few and far between, has put together good outfits.
Yeah. It's that, and naturally a guy who wears black shirts every day is going function over fashion. Number 3, this one could be good, this one could be bad. We're not passing any judgment here. We are not shaming, nor are we denying any shame. We are just objective observers of the dad bod. The dad bod, and I purposely used this picture featured on Wikipedia with nobody's face on it to not shame anybody other than the default search for this on Wikipedia.
That's a dad bod.
That's a dad bod, and you know that you're getting there when all of a sudden those pounds ain't coming off like they used to.
Oh, yeah.
Got to work out a little extra to get it off, and you can't just eat and drink whatever you want anymore. That dad bod is that sure sign. That you start to feel that. I'm a victim to it myself. We're fully dad bodded out, but that's one of those like real markers. That's a real marker of like, okay, we are fully converted into dad mode here. Number 2, this one's unique. Look, you can be a non-dad with a dad bod. You can totally be a non-dad with a dad bod. You can be somebody who falls asleep on the couch without being a dad. You can even dress like, the gentleman that we showed here without being a dad. This one is very specific. You must be a dad for this. And that's the dad joke.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
Nobody but dad tells these jokes. Nobody. If anybody actually walked around telling these specific types of jokes, they would be shamed. They would be embarrassed. But for dads, this is what they live for. To make everybody around them throw them the pity laugh, because nobody's actually really laughing at anything.
It's almost like you laugh because you're so corny.
You're so corny, dad. You are so corny. It happens to every dad. As soon as the waitress comes over and there's some kind of joke about the food, the meal, do we have to pay for this? That type of deal. The dad jokes. It is just the surest sign. There is only one surer sign. There is only, and this is not even a sign. My number 1 is the most identifiable way that you can tell you are now a dad. This is the epitome of being a father, in my estimation. And now this might be controversial. Some are not going to agree with this, but I'm going to call this stuffing it down. And what this is vulnerability, emotion, pain, desire. You don't have these anymore. They're gone. You not for one moment for the rest of your life are allowed to exhibit anything. When you were doing your number 1 in the text message responses, all I could think in my head is, yeah, that's a dad.
Yep.
Because he doesn't have anything in there anymore. There is no emotion. There's nothing left. There is only cold, calculated backbone strength.
Yeah.
You must be the hard rock.
Keep this family going.
You must keep everything in there, and you must keep it all together. And that is the number 1 dad side for me. Once you have learned to fully eliminate all the emotion and become the vessel, the robot that keeps it all together, you're fully ready for fatherhood. You are the dad. You are the ultimate dad. And shout out to all the dads out there who have done what I've done.
Shout out, man. That was a great list.
Hell yeah.
You guys knowing it well. Any honorable mentions?
I had the thermostat, and I also had a variation of Frank's not shutting the door, getting mad about moving shit and not putting it back.
Okay.
If you move shit that I put there and you don't put it back in its place, I'm going to actually be very upset.
Who, me?
One of mine is pulling one of these out when you're watching TV.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, what was that? Sorry, what? Yeah.
I was going to say the cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts.
That were in the, this is like, what are the extra pockets for? Like the cargo shorts were designed for like specific industries, right? Where you have to carry extra tools and stuff. Like, why does every dad need them?
Because there's extra tools. Like, you got to carry the shit. What do you mean?
I've never seen anyone actually put anything in there. It's like they want to have the option for the one day that they need to store something away.
Yeah, but you don't know. What if you need that Bowie knife? Right. What if you need that compass?
Oh, no, they call them EDCs for everyday carries, right?
What if you need it? What if you need it? What if you need those extra plastic bags for something that's going to be useful later? What if you need the handbook for that? I mean, it is just, you must have it. You must have it.
Speaking of which, another one would be the projects that go on in the garage.
Projects.
Oh,
yeah,
There's no way to look at
one.
it and be like, oh yeah, XYZ, you're almost done with that. It's just always they'll come up with a finished product and be like, when the hell have you been working on this? Because all you ever saw was just like a nail here, a piece of wood there. Turns out it was a new doghouse.
You know what, Frank? It's a symptom of my number one. That was a hobby. There might have been time for that, but guess what? You're not allowed to have that anymore. There's no more of that. You just got to keep the train on the tracks. You just got to keep it rolling. And so that hobby might get finished one day, but it'll be after all the kids are gone from the house. That's when it'll happen.
Yeah. My dad loves a good yard project. Just anything. There's nothing worse than the dad being like, hey, I got some work for you today.
Roping you into
yeah. It's like, no, chill, bro. Chill.
Shout out to all the dads out there.
Mowing the lawn.
Yeah, for sure. Caring for your lawn. Just being like proud of your lawn is very dad.
Yeah. God, love a good dadism. Love a good dadism. Put up a poll. Who won? 23 votes in. GC at 57%.
Nice.
Frank at 30. Rick at 13. Wow. No love for the.
They're not dads. They don't know. None of these guys are dads.
All right, Frank. Did we get any voicemails this week?
Ahoy, hoy. What's up, you hammers? It's Homer again from the 808. Mahalo for playing my question last week.
Mahalo, brother.
New York Rick, the most unbiased member of the show.
Thank you.
Since you've been to the Aina, blind rank these 5 Hawaiian foods. Garlic shrimp. Kaloa pig.
Oh, shit.
Go. 2.
Uli chicken.
3.
4.
Loco moco.
Fuck. 5.
Okay.
1.
Roots.
Shout out.
I love that. He got all the Hawaiian isms in there. He called us hammers. He said shoots. Shout out to the 808. The only thing I would have moved is I wouldn't do Loco Moco 5. Loco Moco is fucking amazing. But I feel good about Poke's 1 for sure.
Spam Masubi?
That would be in the 3-4 range.
Okay. Respect.
Because the pork is definitely up there. The chicken would have been last for me. But all good. Shout out to the 808. I'll be there soon.
What's going on, fellas? Bringing back up the fighter pay issue with Conor Ben getting $15 million. Curious, what do you guys think would be the amount that would get, the stars of the UFC, the Sean O'Malley's, the Ilya Taporias, the Matus Gamrots to really stop talking about this? I think the conversation, everyone's like, well, why isn't Sean O'Malley? Why am I not getting paid $15 million? But realistically, that's probably not going to happen. But if he gets $5 million, does he stop? Or is it 7? Like, how much do you think where they kind of just accept, like, we're never going to have it as good, but at least we get a little bit better? Love the show.
Oh, wow. That was abrupt hang up there.
Or the other part, the hiss went on too long.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that is the question. What if one gets taken care of, are they just going to be quiet and be like, yep, it's all good. I'm taken care of, so that's all that matters.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about this when who raised the point first? Max, right? Max was criticizing Derek Lewis for volunteering to fight when John was asking for a much higher number, right? That's the game. They're able to play the individual fighters against each other, right? Because they can say, hey, I'll just get this next guy. I do think they are going to have to come to the table and pay some more of these guys, right? There is just too much. There seems to be too much buzz around this. And Tom Aspinall definitely made a statement today that I think is going to carry some reverberations toward this. I think they will have to come to the table. It won't be $15 million.
Yeah. And I don't even know if they're looking for $15 million or if they're looking for closer compensation. There is a chance that the gap is, we're talking like less than 10% of that for these fights.
Yeah. The difference in what a boxing promoter takes home versus what the UFC and TKO take home is massive, right? The percentage of fighter pay, the percentage of business operating expenses that goes toward fighter pay in boxing for a promotion versus goes toward fighter pay in MMA for the UFC is very, very different. They are paying a fractional amount of what they could be because they have it in profit or they spend it elsewhere. They do things like putting on this White House event. And so I do think they will have to come to the table and make it right with some of these fighters, because now that there's no pay-per-view, a good example is Conor McGregor. They can't pay Conor McGregor whatever his contracted salary says without pay-per-view. It's not enough. He makes all his money because he's such a pay-per-view star. They will have to come to the table with more money for some of these guys. And so if you're Sean O'Malley or Israel Adesanya, they have to make more. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. It's going to be a scenario where they're just not feeling like they're important to the UFC. And maybe what we've learned all along is like the fighters are not actually that important to the UFC, that they don't value them in that way.
Yes, it's crazy time in the sport. It feels somewhat transitional, but we'll see if anything ends up happening.
This Tom thing, I think, is very significant. I think this is going to...
I think all the fighters speaking out is significant, and this is just another way of Tom being able to do that.
But this is the first time that I felt like somebody is taking a stand as opposed to just saying it, right? Like, as Ariel has pointed out all along, it's very brave for MVP or, Israel Adesanya or Aljamain Sterling or any of these guys who have come out and talked about it, Sean O'Malley, Sean Strickland. It's brave for them to say that because they know, as Sean Strickland has continued to point out, you could just get replaced. 5-5, some 5-5 guy, he'll take your spot, no problem. The example we just used, Derek Lewis will fill in for John Jones, no problem. I'll take that title fight. You can be replaced. But now that Tom Aspinall has actually kind of like taken the step of being like, I dare you. I dare you to replace me. That's essentially what I view today as. It will be interesting to see if other fighters now go, fuck, maybe that's for me too. Maybe I'll sign with Eddie Hearn. Who knows? And all of a sudden that can start to lead to something. So interesting times ahead, or it could lead to nothing. Or the fighters can just be happy fighting in the best organization, MMA organization in the world, and say, I want to be the UFC champion. That's all I care about. And that's an okay path too. Nobody should be like judged for taking that path. In the same reason why Ariel was very forceful in saying like Derek Lewis shouldn't be doing that. I actually feel the opposite. I feel like that's just the free market at work and I'm okay with it. But I do think there's a wave. There's something here. It's not the same as it was a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Hey guys, it's William from St. Paul, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And listening to the show, you guys were getting voicemails asking about your Pokemon. And Connor, I just have to give you the biggest shout out. Like, I love you, like already. I stand for you, like you're literally the GOAT. And I mean, I'm the one that called, shout out to the 1993 cancer bald beard babies, because I'm that too. But we also have another thing in common. Go against the grain with the Venusaurs and the Ivysaurs and the motherfucking Bulbasaurs. I literally have a Bulbasaur tattooed on my leg.
Oh, fuck.
So
all right.
You are the GOAT for that. Go against the grain. Bulbasaur #1. Shout out to you. I'm out. Later.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to the 93 babies, cancer, bald beard brand. So that means he's a summer 93 baby, so we're almost the exact same age, cut from the same cloth. Yeah.
You got the Bulbasaur tattoo, though?
Don't. Charles Oliveira does. Charles Oliveira got a full leg sleeve of Pokemon.
Did he actually?
Yeah. I believe I saw it, and I don't think it was fake. I don't think it was there. I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
We ripped that pack yesterday for Arena Club, and we got that Charmander.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out to the Pokemon fans out
there. Were you ever a evolve blocker?
What do you mean?
Like if you held B, it would
stop the evolution?
Yeah.
No, I was in a rush to evolve it. Why would you stop the evolution?
Did you always evolve Pikachu though?
Because to Raichu.
Yeah, like I just think Pikachu looked cooler than Raichu.
There's also something like kind of funny of having like a level like 81
99
Charmeleon. It's like why'd you stop at the middle one, bro?
That is weird.
I'm too much of a logic person, too much of like the key is the advancement that I could never do that.
I had a level 99 Rattata.
Oh Jesus!
Never.
Is it Rattata or Rattata?
I don't know. I used to say Rattata when I was younger. I still have no idea what it is. I didn't let that motherfucker go to eradicate though. Didn't let it happen. But yeah, shout out to Venusaur. I remember begging my parents. I was at a card shop to let me buy a Venusaur for like $20. And they were like, no.
I bet that's worth like a lot of money now.
Probably worth
no joke though. Serious question here. First time playing OG Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which one did you start with? Like which Pokemon?
Charmander.
Oh, I was Bulbasaur, for real.
Bulbasaur from the beginning, right?
My brother loved Blastoise. My other brother loved Charizard. I was like, man, fuck
Just
y'all.
like character design, Charmander and Squirtle just look amazing, right? And to the point, as a kid, I was like, there's probably something to Bulbasaur. Like,
Bro, the Charmander is a fucking fire dragon.
Charmander's the one I would grab.
Charizard's sick.
Yeah, and in fact, I would shit on Blue because I'm like, I have no interest. I think Squirtle looks cool, but just not as cool as Charmander.
Bro, Venusaur is a fat-ass dinosaur with a tree coming out of his back. And he's got the the vines that come out.
I know,
bro. I ride for Venusaur, man.
The Charmander line is flame dinosaur, like fire-breathing dinosaurs.
But all three of the OG are sick. Like, let's just put it what it is. All three
I always
of them
thought they
are
were
sick.
cooler than Pikachu. That's why when Yellow came
For
out, I was
sure.
like, why would you want Pikachu? Pikachu's lame.
They pushed Pikachu on us a little bit too hard. I'm just gonna come out and say that. They pushed Pikachu. They pushed Togepi on us a little bit too hard. Ponyta's random. I feel like they didn't push that enough on us. So yeah, shout out. Yeah, I like going against the grain. Everyone was like, oh, I love Federer. I love Nadal. I was like, man, I like Djokovic. Everyone was like, man,
That one aged all right.
Aged incredibly well. Incredibly well. So yeah, shout out. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to St. Paul.
What's up, boys? This is Stuart. I'm out of Gilbert, Arizona. Hey,
Gilbert.
long-time listener,
Shout
first-time caller. Hey,
Shout
first of all, Pound for Pound is the best segment. Listen to you guys right now, a day late, but do not get rid of it. It's
That's
awesome.
a great point.
I think what you do get rid of is these random-ass cards. You don't try to align it to the card. Just do whatever you want to do. Pound for pound, I mean, GC is ultimate 90s baby, pound for pound, right? So give me some cereal, give me pound for pound, whatever you want. So don't get rid of it. Just stop trying to tie to that group. Love you guys. God bless.
I actually really appreciate that call. I've been leaning more towards the evergreen ones.
I mean,
That's what
today we had a themed one and it went all right.
Yeah, I think if
was that as good as you thought, by the way? Did you enjoy
I
the
enjoyed it.
Daddest?
I enjoyed the discussion. I thought it was great.
You also won, apparently, right?
Let's actually see what it says. It was at 48% leading the three-way poll. Frank 28, Rick 24.
Oh, I'm catching up.
Yeah, catching up.
Real ones, no, that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like the evergreen take. It doesn't need to be tied to the card. I'm with you. We have a lot of evergreen ideas. We just need to start whipping them out.
Hey guys, it's Michael from North Carolina.
What's up, Mike?
I thought I'd give you guys the top 5 worst pound for pound pounds. Number 5, the quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's. The Big Mac is better. It's not even close. Get it out of here. Number 4 worst pound for pound pounds. The British pound. Just use the euro. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I'm with
Number
you.
3, the pound move from Pokemon for normal types,
Great call.
i.e. Jigglypuff. It does
Bullshit move.
horrible damage, makes me feel useless. Shitty.
Isn't
Get
special
it
against
out.
anyone.
Number 2, the dog pound, as in a shelter usually ran by a state facility that doesn't give a fuck about waiting a long time before euthanizing the dogs. Horrible place. Awful pound. And the number 1 worst pound is the American weight of a pound because it's 16 ounces to a pound. We chose the liquid ounce as well. So all of a sudden, 128 liquid ounces in a gallon is a liquid ounce, but it's 8.3 pounds. You're confusing everybody. Just use grams so that I don't have to go 28.39 grams to every single ounce. Make my life easier. Boys in the back, you're amazing. Frank, are you a mono blue player in Magic? That seems your style.
Wow,
Thanks,
he hit
guys.
everything here.
Frank, are you a mono blue player?
I'm not a mono blue player. In fact, I get really annoyed by really good mono blue.
Control decks are shit to play against.
Yeah, and then-
they really suck.
Especially in Arena, it's like you're just watching
It's
all the
horrible.
counter spells. Like they're just, but the thing is like at the end of the day, like whether someone's wiping your creature off the board through 3 steps or just using a counter spell immediately, like the same result happens.
True.
But it just feels
It's more
deflating
frustrating. Yeah.
when blues are doing that shit.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but that was a fantastic call. Great pound for pound pounds. Nailed it. That was fantastic.
Blue
a brilliant
is,
call.
mono blue is Sean Strickland.
Okay. All right. Teeps and jabs. I get it. I get
It's
what
like
you're saying.
they're not really like hitting you hard. They're not really like attacking you too aggressively. But man, their defense is fucking solid, and you just can't do shit. That's what it's like fighting Sean.
Loving the call so far. Loving how much Pokemon's getting brought up. Making me
A lot of
want
Pokemon.
to run a game. I'm actually running through Super Mario Galaxy right now before the movie comes out. Shout out.
Why don't you bring some Pokemon cards up here and let's separate the boys from the men. and the women from the girls.
I'd actually
Wait,
love
did you actually play the cards, Frank?
Yeah, I'd play the cards.
Oh,
I did as well. I'd love to play an actual real physical card game
That's what I'm
against you.
getting. I will grab a couple of decks. We're gonna fucking.
Okay, I will get a fucking starter deck and play. That'd
How
be
does
super
Pokemon
fun.
compare to Magic? Like,
Honestly, when it was done by WotC, I was playing in a Magic tournament right when Pokemon came out, and this guy was like, "You want to try it?" And I played it, and I think because the rules are so logical, it felt like a nice refresh at the time.
Interesting.
So I think it's worth you, if you haven't played any of the other TCGs, it's worth you looking into.
I mean, I was a Yu-Gi-Oh fanatic.
Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
A fanatic. I was doing tournaments and shit. I loved it. Loved it. So I'd love to play Pokemon.
What's up, boys? It's Connor from Austin, Texas here. Got a quick question about Alex Pereira and his legacy and whether he beats Jones, Gane, or Aspinall. So in my opinion, if he beats Gane, he immediately becomes top 5 all time, no questions asked. Whether it's for an interim title or not, going up and beat 2 division champ at middleweight, light heavyweight, and then, ideally interim champion against Gane, that would make him top 5 all time. Now, if he beats John Jones or Tom Aspinall and becomes the first 3 division champ, if he beats John Jones either way, he's the GOAT. If he beats Aspinall, God, I fucked this whole thing up. Every time, guys, every time your fucking stupid intro fucks me up, man. God damn it. I'll be back.
Dog shit call. Appreciate it nonetheless. I'm not going to lie. It's been so long since we recorded that intro. I can't even remember what it is. I know it's stupid as hell.
It's like you being like, hey,
it's like we're
thanks
a
for
couple.
calling. You're like, I'm Connor and I'm Ariel.
Yeah, it's like we're a corny couple in a 90s movie. Shout out. Actually, let's just
dial it up.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So you would think there's a part where it's like, what about me?
Oh yeah, Frank does say that.
415 sup B T.
Leave a message for us.
Ahoy hoy.
Hey, it's Connor and Eric, and we're the boys in the back.
What about Frank?
Leave a message after the beep.
That's great. Talk to us.
Hey man, it's Connor calling in. I actually had a quick question about the White House card. Yeah, that's as corny as I remember it being.
It's actually worse than I remember.
Yeah, it's worse.
I
than
love
remember.
it.
Holy shit.
I love how he's blaming that. If Alex Pereira beats John Jones, he's not the GOAT, but fuck, he's amazing.
If he beats John Jones, man, triple champ.
But if he beats Cyril Gane, he said he's top 5. I don't know about that. That feels a little bit.
The resume is becoming insane.
The resume becomes very good. Shout out to Alex Pereira.
What's up, boys in the back? How you doing? Long time no call. This is Adam calling in from Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
I've got a little blind ranking.
Already
for
on
you
fight
guys
week.
today. I thought I'd get in on this. I would like you, GC, to blind rank the following potential new destinations for the UFC.
Ooh,
Right?
Love this.
All right.
Okay.
So the first one is Italy.
Italy 2.
Rome. I'm assuming.
What is that?
The next one would be Bangkok, Thailand.
Ooh, that'd be sick. 4.
And we got South Africa.
3.
Ecuador.
5.
Maybe a Chito Vera or Michael Morales.
Michael Morales for sure.
And the last one would be Spain.
Spain 1. Boom.
You did it again.
I'm blowing my mind at how good I am at blind ranking.
You got caught once last week, but then you recovered immediately with a great one after that.
So I think that ended up being Spain, Italy, South Africa, Bangkok. And what did I say for 5?
Ecuador?
Ecuador
is 5.
Yeah. Be sick.
All those would be pretty freaking great.
All of those would be incredible. You know where else? Amsterdam. That would not be bad. A fight card in the Netherlands. Yeah, but just going back would be great. Any international. I'm hearing these rumblings about Belgrade, Serbia. Feel like we got him.
Hey, yo, what's up, boys? Terry Bird, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Wow. Yeah, I'm out here just treating these lawns, just getting out here, just starting work after my 4-month layoff while still getting paid.
Shout out to you, bro.
Yo, I'm listening to the interview with Arman Sarukian, and he was talking about wrestling, that George boy, and he said something being bullshit. And I'm sitting here like, Frank, hit the button, Frank. That's a bullshit.
That's
a
bullshit.
Hit the button. Oh, Frank, you let me down. You let me down. Oh, boy. Also, shout out Connor. I didn't know what to get my wife for Valentine's Day a few weeks back. She's an avid book reader, so I got her Project Hail Mary, and she loved it.
Banger.
So, shout out.
Shout out.
Good looking out.
Great gift,
Appreciate it. You got your boy some cheeks. I mean.
Shout out.
Well, I've said too much. I'm out of here.
You have.
Goodbye.
It's also, your wife, so.
It's all right. We can allow.
We still celebrate. We still celebrate, Still celebrate. Shout out to Project Hail Mary.
Okay. Update.
Okay.
We talked about it. Remember I said I'm getting it from the library, not buying it.
Yep. You're now what number in line?
So there's 3 different copies. There's the regular novel, there's a hardcover, and then there's the large print.
Okay.
Ooh, large print.
With the regular, I'm in 14th position. 14 people are ahead of me. No, sorry, 13 people are ahead of me.
Maybe you need the large print.
In the hardcover, I'm 4th.
Nice.
Okay.
And in the large print, I'm 7th. So one of these is going to come through. We're going to get that project.
One of these days, it will come through. I do want to just report I'm seeing it on Amazon right now for
or the Strand, or
$8.99.
That's a little steep.
$8.99.
I like to support my local library. Shout out to the Wantagh Library.
Shout out to the Wantagh Library. Amityville.
Sucker Free on the line.
What's up, Sucker?
I think we're about to embark on a very exciting time in MMA history. I just finished Wednesday's episode where Ariel and Aljo talked about Derek Lewis's offering to fight for $1 million, and that was part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Rick sounded like he was trying to speak up, but Ariel seemed to cut him off before he could make his point. Here's some more Eric glazing, but I have to say, I think I agree with what Jackman was going to say. $1 million for a single fight is life-changing money. It's also realistically more than what the Black Beast is getting on average per fight.
For sure.
So wouldn't that be capitalism at work? Using Ariel's garage door contractor analogy, if a contractor is willing to fix his garage for 1/10 of the cost, shouldn't that be his competitive edge? It would be bad for the consumer if all the garage door contractors refuse to work unless they all get 10x. I think that's what Aljo was suggesting when he wanted Lewis to keep quiet. The UFC isn't relying on the popularity of the fighter to buy pay-per-views anymore. They use their popularity to close ESPN and Paramount deals. In the UFC's eyes, Derek Lewis and Jon Jones fulfill the same exact role as fixing the garage door. In general, capitalism is great, but it does engender the classic race to the bottom scenario in any market. I don't blame Derek Lewis for speaking up for a chance to get $1 million for a fight. Staying quiet only helps Jon Jones. Here's the exciting part. The real solution to capitalism, or the mechanism to regulate it, is competition. Unfortunately, the PFLs, the 1FCs, blew their loads. But I'm hoping the MVPs, the BKFCs, or some new entity, Masvidal, Backyard Mayhem, whatever, can offer guaranteed contracts, let the fighters have ads on the shorts, or whatever to generate whatever revenue. All of that is finally appealing again, now that the UFC is going to cap their fighters' earnings. WCW almost won because WWF got complacent. The same could happen to the UFC. Alright, much love to the cast and crew. That's it.com.
That's it.com. Great call. Appreciate that.
It is interesting to look at it through the capitalism lens, right? Because to his point, right? Like, if somebody sells a service for less, you should.
But if that service is not as good, not as reliable, it's not going to look as good, then no wonder it's 1/10 of the price.
Right.
Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou is a much different fight than Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou.
But the point is,
you're still getting.
Sometimes you pay. No, well, sometimes you pay less for a service that's less, right?
Yeah.
I pay one price for a meal at XYZ restaurant, which is not as good as the price I'd pay for, a Michelin star restaurant. Sometimes you make that choice regardless of the fact that the other one's available to you. So there is a logic in that. I thought I got what I needed to say out yesterday, but I ultimately agree that, like, I don't fault Derek Lewis or any fighter for taking whatever they think their worth is. What I would like to see is what I'm hoping we will see, which is more fighters having a higher worth. More fighters going, like if Tom Aspinall comes back and is like, now with Eddie Hearn in his corner, I'm worth more. Pay me more. If Israel Adesanya goes, pay me more. Now you don't have to worry so much about like somebody coming to undercut, because the options that the UFC really wants are asking for more, and they're going to have to pay more. And so that is a form of competition, right? It's competition within the talent pool, right? In the previous competition, there's a fighter like a Derek Lewis where they're like, it's close enough. We'll just pay him 1/10. But now they're running out of like, it's close enough. They're running out, like, who is the replacement for a Sean O'Malley? Who is the replacement for a John Jones or an Alex Pereira or Israel Adesanya? There's not as many options now.
Fighters speaking up. Antitrust going on.
Yeah.
Champion signing with arch nemesis for being their agent. It's interesting times in the UFC, man.
And
beating up babies.
He made a point about PFL or other promotions doing something to like be more attractive, right? Like, oh, we'll allow you to have sponsors on your shorts and so you can sell more. There's also now, again, this whole Tom and Eddie thing has got me thinking about all this stuff, which is, okay, what if Eddie Hearn starts to just represent MMA people and he's like, I'm the guy for PFL or any promotion.
Francis versus Tom.
Francis and Ngannou. Any promotion that's not the UFC, we're open for business. We're not treating it like we have to go to UFC or bust. So now there's more opportunity in the marketplace. It's a fascinating time.
How's it, everybody? My name is Cortez. I'm calling in from Hawaii.
Ooh, shout out.
I'm actually going to the fight this weekend, so I'm super stoked. The card is kind of ass, but the main event has my two favorite fighters, so can't really complain too much. I used to actually live in the city, but I moved home recently, back home to Hawaii. GC, I actually met you outside of Penn Station. We had that awkward dap. It was raining that day. I don't know if you remember it. And then shout out to Andy. I met her outside of a Thai restaurant outside of St. Mark's.
Wow.
You know, I miss living in the city and whatnot, but I definitely love Hawaii a lot more. Quick question. Who is the most famous person that you guys have ran into while living and working in the city? Alrighty. Oh, and shout out to Frank. You know, I used to not like Frank, but now he's like my favorite guy on the team. So
he came around.
Shout out everybody. Yes, sir.
Everyone does.
Great call. I actually remember that vividly. We fucked the dap up so bad that we had to address it. I was like, damn, we fucked that one up, man. It was one of the going for the high five, going for the knuckle, and then
didn't switch,
and then you switch, and it was a whole ordeal. I had to address it. Recognizes Andy.
How was your dap with him, Andy?
We didn't dap, but he said hello. He was very nice. Shout out to Klong. That's the restaurant that I've been telling you guys we should go to. It's a Thai restaurant right around the corner. It's so good. Very sweet. Asked me if I was Andy from Uncrowned, which to me was like crazy. So I was like, hey, nobody ever sees me really. And then B, Uncrowned, like what a shot, like deep fan.
Legend.
Huge fan.
That's big shit right there. Shout out to him.
Did you sign an autograph for him?
Yeah.
No, but I was with my girlfriends and they were freaking out. It was really embarrassing. So sorry about that, buddy.
It's so good. It's so good. Famous people that I've run into in the city. Funny you say this. Just recently, and I haven't gotten to get into this on the show yet, I was at a coffee shop in Brooklyn, placed my order, waiting for the coffee, standing by the side. This like cute little like Bernedoodle walks in, and like I was just like, oh, what's up? Like, petting it, saying hello, look up. This woman has this beautiful like red trench coat on. I was like, man, that's like a nice coat. And then like look at her boyfriend, Jake Gyllenhaal. I was like, I immediately text the group chat. I was just like, yo, holy shit. I'm pretty sure I'm standing next to Jake Gyllenhaal right now in this coffee shop. And I was like, what do I do? Do I tell him I'm a big fan of Roadhouse? Like, I was at the premiere. I saw him speak at the premiere at the Roadhouse thing. I was like, do I tell him how big of a fan I am of him, despite him trying to kill that guy at UFC 237? Yeah, so like, ended up not saying anything. This was a very small coffee shop, and he was definitely like ducked off trying to be private, and it was crowded. So if I was like, oh shit.
No.
Dalton, can I get a picture, bro?
He was texting saying, I think I'm standing right next to GC. Should I say something
He was texting McGregor. He was just like, oh, yo, holy fucking shit, man. I think I'm standing next to GC right now. Yeah, it was like this whole thing. So, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, that was pretty crazy. Big Jake Gyllenhaal fan.
What about...
Don't regret not saying anything, but like there was a part of me where I was like, damn, I am a Jake Gyllenhaal guy.
When you're a big fan of these celebrities, I feel like there's an instinct that everybody has to fight that's like, I'm just going to say something and we're going to be best friends. Like they're going to fall in love with my vibe and we're going to be best friends.
Mine is not that we're going to be best friends. Mine is I'm never going to see this guy again. And like I am like a legitimate fan of him. Prisoners, Donnie Darko.
Gyllenhaal's a legend.
In Spider-Man, obviously like Roadhouse. Like he just has so many good roles throughout the years. So like I am just a fan
Source Code. Legend.
We went through his IMDb and you're just like, oh, fuck, that one too. Oh, yeah, that one too. Like, he's got so many good.
You did this in front of him? You're like going to the IMDb?
Source Code.
Source
Code. Donnie Darko.
I was across the thing. I was just like, you know who's a great fucking actor that doesn't get enough credit?
Prince of Persia.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal, saw him, which was pretty crazy. I've seen, one time I was walking on the street and saw Timothée Chalamet, and I was like,
damn, big Tim.
Nudged the person next to me. I was just like, yo, I'm pretty sure it's fucking Timothée Chalamet. And like they were like, yeah, it's definitely Timothée Chalamet. He was walking, head down, sunglasses on, jawing into like an old Italian man's ear in a different language. Like I'm talking, he was like right in this dude's ear, just like, and I was like, is that fucking Timothée Chalamet? And then sure enough, like the tabloids will cover it and be like, oh, Timothée Chalamet like stuns with Kylie Jenner at like New York Michelin star restaurant. And I was like, oh, yep, that was.
What era is this? When is this?
This was like June.
Oh.
This past June. Yeah, like still like massive.
Marty Supreme era.
And then like you do see people like kind of mob him and he's just like, oh yeah, what's up? Like I'm trying to like chill and move.
Nobody else recognized Jake Gyllenhaal?
Bro, I was standing in there and like I was like hearts pounding. I'm standing right next to him. I'm like, oh fuck, this fucking Jake Gyllenhaal. And no one else is noticing.
Wow.
And like, bro, I was like, I noticed his girlfriend having the nice coat, and then I like look over at him. And I was like, oh, the fucking nice fucking coat he's wearing, like expensive clothes. So yeah, no one noticed him. And then lastly, in November, family was in town. Went to Russ and Daughters for bagels, legendary spot, fucking incredible smoked sandwich, salmon sandwich. Walk in, place my order, turn around. Oh fuck, Travis Kelce. I was just like, that when I did say something just because I was so caught off guard. It wasn't like a slow realization. I just turned around and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, Travis Kelce, what's up, man? And he's like, yeah, what's up, dude? And like you could tell he was trying also not to get his cover blown because this was a crowded ass restaurant. Kind of hard not to get the cover blown when you're like a 6'4" like freak athlete.
Dating Taylor Swift.
Sure enough, you see the tabloids like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce go on a night out on the town.
And then there's you see in the back.
Yeah. Within the last year, I've seen Gyllenhaal, Travis Kelce, and Timothée Chalamet roaming the streets of NYC. So shout out.
Wasn't it the same day that you saw Travis was when you saw the guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, no,
wasn't that not the same day?
It was the same weekend. Okay, that was on a Friday, and then that Sunday I was walking. No, Jeff.
Jeff
from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and like we're standing at the thing together, and like I can hear him talking. I was like, I know that voice, and like I turned to the right. I was like, that's fucking Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, yeah, you really do. Like you do see famous people just around.
Anybody else got a good story?
Nah, man, I don't glaze.
Oh.
Damn.
Glaze.
The fuck?
What up, BITB? A little late on this one again, so hopefully I make it on the show. But Ethan from Northern Alberta, hard-fought loss by the Knicks last night, but you know, that is what it is. We keep pushing. Question today is about birthday gifts. My wife got me Resident Evil 9 pre-order for my birthday at the beginning of the month. So I was spending my weekend grinding that. Fantastic game. Highly recommend it if any of you guys are interested, or if you have already played it, let me know what you think. But just curious, what is the best and worst birthday gift you guys have ever received, and who gave it to you? So yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Can't wait to hear your answer, and talk to you guys later.
It's a great one.
What is
my best birthday gift is easy off rip.
2 Zelda games.
Those weren't bad. The Switch itself was better. Just had to say that. But that's actually not the best one ever. 2005, I'm turning 12. PSP. Shout out. PSP, all-time gaming device. Got Need for Speed. Got like the NCAA football game on it. There's so many good games. I think my parents felt a little bit bad for me because like a couple weeks prior, I had cut my finger open so bad I had to get surgery and everything. So like on my birthday, I had a giant cast and everything. So they were like, we'll shell it out. We'll get the We'll get the PSP. PSP was the best. Worst? I don't know. If someone's giving me something that I didn't remember, a pair of socks, something just like super, just a card with nothing in it and like no real note, just like, oh, here's a card. Like when you get like Progressive Insurance, they'll send you like a card and it's like, happy birthday, Connor. Hope you have a good one. Like that's like the worst one.
And you get all the emails from like every message board that you've ever registered for and put your birthday.
Yep. Shout out to the PSP though.
PSP.
What about you, Frank, Andy, Dan? Oh,
Andy's going.
Let me think. Best one, my dad took me and all of my friends when we were teenagers to one of our favorite emo bands.
Oh, shit, that's amazing. That's a great one.
The poor man, bless him, we were screaming. My friend was trying to jump off the barricade. It was a whole thing. Best gift ever. We had an incredible time. He still talks about it because he was so upset at how we were behaving.
It's very dad of him.
Very dad. I love you, Dad. And worst, yeah, probably something I wouldn't remember. I think there was one year that I got like these super huge, long, bright earrings, and I was like, I don't wear this. But it was from somebody important, so that one kind of hurt because it was like, damn, you don't know me, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was probably the worst.
Yeah,
Frankie.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Frank.
I'm still trying to think because they're all so good, you know.
I have a hard time with like what was a Christmas gift, what was a birthday gift. I don't really remember it like that specifically.
Mine are just in like two such polar opposites, July and December.
Yeah, I mean I'm August, but for one thing I got N64 and that was it for me.
Yep, shout out.
I don't know if it was birthday or Christmas.
What game did you get? Was it like right at launch or when Ocarina of Time came out?
It must have been not right at launch, right? Because I was looking up here, it's September '96. So I would guess maybe I got it for Christmas and I got it in December.
Frank, was the best gift anyone ever gotten for you 8 front row tickets to...
It was the lasagna, man.
See the Ana de Armas movie? What was it called? Sabrina?
No, it was
I mean, I would hope so because I paid for it, so that would be the best gift.
No one asked you to do that.
What was it?
Black Swan?
No, Ballerina.
Ballerina.
That's right. That was all the voicemails.
Show some respect.
That was all the voicemails?
That was all of them.
All right. Woo! Thanks for everyone that called in. Do we have any shit about that?
Well, we did.
Oh. But?
Yeah, we should stop. First one up says Aspinall signing a contract without glasses.
Nah, give it a rest.
Come on, you fucking gay.
I do have to. Have you gone to like the eye doctor? They dilate your eyes and they have you sit down. They're like, all right, we need you to invest thousands of dollars in your eyewear now. It's like, bro, do we have to do that right now? Like,
no, but we know that you have because you never shut up about it when you got them dilated the other day.
Moving on.
I think you made one brief reference to it.
It was enough to let you know I was struggling.
I got my eyes out there.
Now Eddie can make Aspinall versus Ngannou in boxing.
I don't think so. No, he's still under contract with the UFC. That's the big clarification here. He is just representing him as an agent. He actually can't be his agent in boxing.
As far as I know, but then again, as I said, this new Ali legislation might open up some options. I don't know what's on the table there.
We'll see.
Percentage chance that Tom fights at the UFC again.
I'm gonna still say like 80%. I think he fights again in the UFC.
Rick?
He's having a hard time swallowing this one.
40.
40. So you think it's more likely we never see him enter the octagon again?
To me, do you know Dana White to be a forgiving man?
Yeah, true.
This to me felt like a declaration of war, right? Like, I've aligned. You have an enemy now, right? Dana White's not like exactly like brimming with enemies. They're kind of like PFL's not a true rival. There's not really like anybody out there. He used to take his pot shots at Tito Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya. Eddie Hearn has now emerged as an actual rival, right? Beating up babies, pussy. That's a real rival.
This is like beating up babies.
Beating up babies.
Beating up babies.
Aligned with his rival.
Yeah.
That is
a declaration of war.
It's a great point. Federal fucking prison.
If he does fight for the UFC again, it means he's winning something. Like he gained something massive, and I'd be happy for him. But I'm pessimistic.
Yo, do I kind of look like the guy from Arrow on CW with this hood on?
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, I look like Arrow.
You mean the Green Arrow?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Green Lantern.
No, that's a different hero.
Jesus.
He has a ring.
That's Green Lantern with the ring.
Shout out to the CW.
Shoots
Arrow
employer.
is the archer.
Shows her ass.
He's like Hawkeye.
That's beyond the point.
Green Arrow's pretty cool though. It's
Pretty sure the series
Dark
was just
Knight
called Arrow.
Returns.
No, the series was called Arrow, but the character is Green Arrow.
Oh, it's the Green Arrow. Okay. Shout out to the CW.
Tom has reached the mountaintop already. He is the lineal undisputed heavyweight champ. If Tom goes into a Francis fight on Netflix, it will be Dana's biggest fumble to date. Love you, boys.
Is he the lineal heavyweight champ?
I think Francis is technically still the lineal heavyweight.
Yeah, if Francis never lost.
Or no, is it? Would it be Anthony Joshua? Who's the lineal? Trying to do the math.
Yeah, Ngannou is still the lineal heavyweight champ.
Interesting.
Because Ngannou hasn't lost in MMA. So
it would be a huge fumble. It would be a huge payday for both of them. The only thing that I say to that is what's next after that? In MMA, we've seen Francis Ngannou essentially hit a stall. There's no one for him to fight. He did one fight against Renan Ferreira, and now we're just sitting around waiting for him to potentially ever fight again in MMA.
Man. Fucking exciting times. Who knows what can happen? There's a lot of stuff on the table that I
was never expecting Eddie Hearn to start a management company and then sign Tom Aspinall, so I don't know what's going to happen. You guess
I didn't expect Conor Ben to be Zuffa Boxing and
Zuffa
Tom
Boxing,
Aspinall to
$15
be
million poster boy. So
Matchroom Management.
Yeah.
P.S. Eddie should have picked a UFC star, not a bum. Nobody cares about Aspinall. Tom continues to fall from grace. Cyril got goated today. Based memo, Tom Aspinall, make your money but lose your honor.
Yeah, Eddie should have picked a UFC star, not a bum. Nobody
think
cares about Aspinall. Tom continues to fall from grace. Cyril got goated today. Based memo, Tom Aspinall, make your money but lose your honor.
This guy really hates Tom, huh?
Yeah, CTMMA. It sounds like you have some vendettas against Tom. All he did was sign an agent. Made a shot at the UFC by signing an agent. I don't really know what else to say. Tom continues to fall from grace. How? How is this a move that made him fall from grace?
Well, he pussied out of the fight with Cyril Gane, don't forget. Remember that?
Oh, for sure, right? Because he's this is the indication that he's too chicken to fight Cyril Gane.
Also, this is the move. Oh my God, you just solved it. He did this thing with Eddie Hearn because he's so scared of fighting Cyril Gane that he knew that Dana White and the UFC would not like it, that they'd cut him so he doesn't have to fight Cyril Gane.
Yep.
You got there.
Yep.
You got us there.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Great point, CT.
Next, what does a strike look like in the UFC? Half of the top 15 and half of right under top 15 stall out for 3, 6, 12 months. What can they do?
Yeah, it would take a
something
serious
like that.
effort and time and a lot of them joining together. It would be a massive, massive thing. This isn't something that one or two people can do and accomplish anything. It's going to take a large group of people and a willingness to hang around for a long time.
In more likely scenario, in all likelihood, I expect them to take care of more top stars with a little bit of extra money. Hey, Israel, we heard what you said. Here's a little bit of money. Sean O'Malley, here's a little bit extra money. Address the issue with them and then just move on from it.
Yeah.
Aspinall versus Ngannou. Said it, Eddie. Get him paid.
Shit, I ain't mad at that fight.
We'll see.
I thought Aspinall would be coming to the UFC. Francis would be coming back to the UFC when I made that bold prediction last year. Maybe there's another solution.
Just happen on Netflix.
Gents, the Hearn Aspinall situation is wild. Big move by Tom, but the bigger story may be Hearn rallying UFC troops and hitting Dana and the UFC financially. Could this be the first step towards unionization with Tom as the first? Wow.
Shout out to Bill Steinmetz. Thank you for the $20.
Absolute legend.
You are a legend of the game. We really appreciate
we love
you. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. That's the interesting part.
People seem to be automatically jumping to this union thing. Again, as I said, I don't think of this move by Tom as like this selfless, I'm doing this for the people type move. It very well may be. We'll hear him speak about it tomorrow at a press conference, it sounds like. And he may say, I'm thinking about the fighters and all these things, and that'd be great. But selfishly, it's also a great move for him individually in his career. I don't know that I'm immediately making the leap toward like all the fighters are going to get together behind this, but it is just another thing like the Conor Ben 15 million that another fighter can use as leverage to be like, well, what the fuck's going on over here?
1,000%.
Awesome pound for pound list makes me appreciate my dad for sure. I have specific memories of my dad being like, not mad, just disappointed. My mom was the yeller, but if my dad was mad, I knew I fucked up.
Appreciate the $10 sucker free. I was the same way. My mom would tear into me, and yeah, you knew it was really bad when the dad was screaming as well, or like the wait till your father gets home. You're like,
oh, that's rough.
Fuck. Yeah, that was one that I enjoyed for sure. That was a great one. Yeah, love you, Dad. Love all the dads out there. So shout out.
Squirtle Army, rise up.
Hey, shout out to Squirtle, man. All the 3 starters are great. The 151 is where my heart lies. If you're a 151er, you're in good books with me.
Same.
All-time bad take is Pikachu overrated. He's goated.
Not the GOAT. Not even close.
He is overrated.
I prefer Raichu over Pikachu.
He's part of the 151, though.
No, I love Pikachu. Don't get me wrong.
He's
the
not
face
that cool.
of everything. He's the face of everything. They shove him down our throats. I'm a Raichu guy. I prefer the,
also,
was he shoved down the throats
orange?
because he was just so likable, or because of the anime? Are you on like?
I think it's because of the cartoon. It was because of his Ash's
I think he
Pokemon.
was lovable before the cartoon.
He's lovable. He's great for sure. I'm a Raichu guy.
But
I
he's
like a little splash of orange in there.
As you did like a list of Pokemon. Remember you were picking like last time, and you were like, I love Gengar and and all the other ones, Machoke or whatever you picked. The cutesy Pokemon are not the coolest Pokemon, and Pikachu's just like a cutesy Pokemon.
There's a scene
Misty
in the episode where he realizes that Team Rocket did in fact not die. Like they all thought they died, and he goes like, "Shucks," and he's like upset. I'm like, bro, Pikachu is not as cute as he's letting on. He's actually probably the
he's
most
evil.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing it went viral a little bit on Reddit because it's like, what was Pikachu hoping for? That Team Rocket
died.
just straight up dead?
Yeah.
And lastly, LMFAO for looking like Green Arrow.
Hey, shout out.
Hashtag Smallville.
Oh, shout out Smallville.
Hey, shout out to Smallville. Shout out to the entire All-American, all the CW shows. They are all equally shit.
You're as a former CW alum, right? I got
a CW blanket at home that they gave me when I was leaving my internship. Yeah, shout out to every show at the CW. They are all equally shit. Family Feud sometimes comes on there. A big Family Feud guy.
Is that on the CW?
I think every once in a while they run some reruns. Yeah. 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men.
Yep.
Are these actually even on the CW? I thought Family Feud was on like Fox or some shit.
I don't know. CW 69
always gets involved with something.
Yeah, CW's always on some fucking bullshit. WB in the morning. Yeah, it was CW 69. Good shit.
I only remember it as WB. Once it turned to CW, I wasn't really watching their shit anymore.
Shout out to the CW.
Whatever happened to UPN?
Wasn't that a Chicago station?
No, that was.
Oh wait, there's one more super chat.
Yeah, that's it.
United Paramount.
Get everyone?
Can't show it to you. But
Read it.
Says, Eddie is beating Dana to the White House announcement. Poetan vacating indicates a new heavyweight champion. Would Tom's sunset clause, like Francis, still apply if vacated?
We don't know because we don't know whether Tom has a sunset clause like that. That's a specific contract with a specific fighter. We don't know that every contract has a sunset clause. There was a time where they started instituting them, then they didn't, and so it's impossible to actually say that. I imagine that Eddie Hearn and Tom Aspinall have a game plan, though. That is the part that I'm pretty sure of, is like, if there is a clause, they know what it is. If there's not a clause, they have a plan for what the contingencies are, and you know, we'll see.
That's everything?
Yes, sir.
We had, speaking of that, we had a video clip from Eddie Hearn talking about signing Tom Aspinall.
And a lot of fans will associate you with, obviously, boxing. Just to be clear on that, obviously, Tom is still with the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, he has a contract with the UFC, so this isn't about bringing him into boxing. This is a commercial representation and an advisory capacity to help him across all of his business. And, you know, I'm sure, and everything that I hear means he can go in there and do serious damage in the boxing world, but it's not on the short-term agenda for sure.
Okay.
Oh, you can fucking see it. It's dripping from his fucking face.
He can't wipe the smile. It's so good. So yeah, he says boxing is not in the short-term plans right now.
Yeah, but he also says like, yeah, he's in the UFC. He's gonna come in the UFC and do some damage in there. Yeah, okay. Like I'm sure that would be great. That would be one great outcome for you. But there's there's other things that I imagine he might want to do with him as well.
I can't wait to get home and watch that entire YouTube video. I think that's
I can't wait for the
us.
press conference tomorrow.
Press conference tomorrow is going to be great. I think that's going to do it for us. Longest BITB ever, 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 37 minutes. Covered everything, 326. You never know what's going to happen in this crazy, wacky world of combat sports. You get breaking news right off the top. More? And you got to adjust from there. Shout out to the CW. Watch Wild Cards tonight at 10 p.m. Watch The Crack tomorrow. Watch Party on Saturday. Post show back on Monday. Hopefully Eddie Hearn's on the show. We'll see. That's all we got for you boys. And back till next time. We're fucking Eddie.